This podcast is brought to you by the following
Why don't you go like
sponsors.
this and have lightning come from your hands? Yeah.
I'll just do this.
Effects.
Finishers MMA is located at 3761 Nicholas Street in Easton, PA, Lehigh Valley's home for 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. The amount of people that they have over there instructing is insane. They have J.M. Holland, John Thor Blanks opening up 10th Planet Allentown, Zach Meslaney, Grace Gundrum. It is elite teaching over there. They teach self-defense, no-gi jiu-jitsu, and kickboxing. They have a kids martial arts program that is building and growing, and Grace is teaching every single kids class. Get over there. They are the biggest killers in the game. That's 3761 Nicholas Street in Easton, PA. Do you have anything to interject?
You didn't let me talk. I don't know.
No, I would like trying to get quicker on that. But they have multiple schools, and it's www.finishersmma.com. That has their schedule on there, and it has when they rotate everything. And they have evening classes because if you work and you can't get there, they even have, I think, an 8 o'clock class on Wednesday.
The thing I like the best is that they treat people with respect. It's not like one of those weird places you go and they talk down to you and, you know, like I'm a big bad sensei kind of crap.
No, not at all.
They're super cool guys. Everybody that goes there is nice. Everybody's friendly. It's just a wonderful place to go and learn jiu-jitsu. Wonderful place to go learn choke people.
Yeah.
Just go choke some people.
Every time I've been over there, and I get a little intimidated sometimes going into classes like that, even like going to the gym or like the Y, I get a little uncomfortable, and they make you feel at home there. Super professional. The guys have been doing it for a while. Zach, JM, and Thor all have their black belts. So
and they have crazy top-notch equipment. Everything is awesome. It's not some...
Yep. Every now and then they do
awesome. It's an awesome place.
Seminars and stuff there too. So check it out. It's finishersmma.com, and they are located at 3761 Nicholas Street in Easton, PA. Their social media is everywhere, so you can go find them. And thank you guys for being a sponsor. Taylor Edge Wood Company. Drew Hoagland. They make handmade and local crafting and bringing you gorgeous custom wood design. If you're looking for a custom table, nightstand, countertop, and more, they can help you. Drew made this table and that desk. A lot of people always have asked us who did this, and it was Taylor Edge Wood Company. Their social media you can find is Taylordedgewoodco on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram has a lot of the pictures and stuff. That's the best place to follow them. They just got the website up. It should be running by the time this airs, but that's Taylordedgewoodco.com, and he's going to have cutting boards on there. Their T-shirts are really cool. I know they're doing fall shirts for that, and he's just a stand-up guy. He's done nothing but help the show since day one and has really ultimate crafting.
Yeah, if you're looking to get something different for your home, and you don't want to have the same boring home with the same boring box store, stupid tables that are particle board that are wrapped in crappy vinyl stuff, check him out. He'll come and give you an estimate, let you pick out whatever you want. He's a crazy nut for black walnut, and he loves the stuff, the smell
He's
of it.
Obsessed with
crazy.
it.
It's a little awkward, but he's very very talented. And like I said, if you want something custom and nothing says that you're cool, then I have a damn custom table and you don't.
Yeah, and you get professional quotes, and he's also got that he's going to be having that on the website where you'll be able to get quotes off of there. So if you're looking for top-notch,
locally sourced,
everything's out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, support local people.
Yeah, so hit them up. You can hit up TaylorEdgeWoodco@gmail.com for any inquiries on what you need. Instagram's a good way to get a hold of him, and he runs it with his wife, so they're super local to us, and they helped us out since the beginning. So please go check them out, and thank you for being a sponsor.
All right, our next sponsor is All Valley Rooter and Plumbing.
Jared LaBarba. I've been friends with Jared for almost my entire life, and he came down to the studio looking to sponsor, and we had a long conversation, and he wanted help building in the Nazareth area. He has a lot of work in the Lehigh Valley, but he specifically wanted to get into Nazareth, and we have a really big reach in Nazareth. It's not a big place, but we do have bigger reach than anyone else here.
We control the whole
We
town.
own Nazareth. But Jared went through his whole story and told me everything he's doing, and his plumbing is top notch. Yes. They do faucet repair, sub pump replacement, sink installation, pipe installation, leaks, toilet repair, and more. They have 24-hour service, 365 days a year. They charge by the job, not the hour. All services come with a 1-year warranty and guarantee. He's going to be our plumber from now on if we have any problems with the sink and whatnot. Yeah. Having plumbing issues is probably one of the biggest headaches ever.
It's one of those things that if something goes bad with your plumbing, it's really bad. There is no minor plumbing issue. And it's good to have someone that's local that you can call, that you know, and say, hey, I really need your help, as opposed to some guy that's going to spend, he's going to take 3 hours to get there and he's going to show up. He's going to overcharge you. It's just not worth it. Go with a local guy, super professional. He can do everything you really want. He lists a bunch of stuff there, but I'm pretty sure he can do pretty much everything involving plumbing. So I'm just going to call him for everything. So. Whatever.
Yeah, and you have 2 properties that you can use them for now, too, because you didn't have a good experience.
No, they were horrible.
I wish you would say who it was.
I really hate that.
His website is allvalleyrouter.net, and that is the place where you're going to find all of the information you need to get a hold of Jared if you have any plumbing issues, or if you're just trying to get quotes for stuff. But they are 365 days a year. They are open 24 hours, and we want to thank him for being one of our first sponsors on the show. It means a lot, and all you Nazareth peeps or anybody in the Lehigh Valley who wants a trusted, reliable, professional plumber, please contact Jared.
And our next sponsor is Rips Auto Detail. I love this guy. Go ahead.
One of my favorite guests on the show.
Cool. He's a really nice guy. He's a very good DJ also, by the way.
Yes, and he's super professional at his job. He's got over 15 years of experience. He's located at 630 North Nelson Street in Allentown, PA. He does paint correction, ceramic coating, interior, and pro auto detail. If you follow him on Rips Auto Detail on Instagram, it's insane what this guy actually does with a car.
I am recommending that you go to Popeyes, which is right up the street, and you put fingerprints all over your vehicle, and then you go there, and he will make it perfect again.
Yeah, he's got 15 years of experience. He's got a package for everyone. What he stressed on the show is that he doesn't just do super high-end vehicles. Yep. He can do anything from, if you just have a daily driver and you just like having a clean car, you can get that done, all the way up to getting a boat done.
Yeah, well, it's worth it because I had my SUV detailed last year, actually, just because, especially when you live around here with the salt and everything else, if you get a really good detail on it, it actually will keep your car looking better than dealing with all the salt, because you keep going for car washes and stuff. That's not good. So if you get a really good detail on it, it actually will help all that stuff. So it basically winterizes your thing. And plus, when it gets nice out, you just go there and get it, just touched up a little bit, get it, refreshed, and you have a car that doesn't look like you're a slob.
You can contact him directly on Instagram, and that's at Rips Auto Detail, or you can call him at 484-553-1366. If you really want to know what this guy does, check out our past podcast with him. It's got a boatload of information. I didn't know, I knew he was good at what he was doing, and he opened his own business and all that, but to hear the story of how he got to where he's at and the 15 years experience, he's a super pro. He's a really great guy. Just go check out his stuff at Rips Auto Detail on Instagram, Facebook, and his website is coming soon. So go check him out, and he's one of our first sponsors as well. And we couldn't do the show without all these people, so I want to thank everyone. And shout out to Rips Auto Detail, and give him a follow.
And he gives you a free bucket of chicken.
No, he does not.
He's from Popeyes, says he does. Put that in there.
He didn't even like Popeyes.
Rips, you need to give out free chicken. Thank you.
Check out what he's doing on social media, and we won't use that part. And then we'll end it with, this is a professional Class A operation. Check out the podcast we did with him.
Our next sponsor is Valley Prep Meal Prep. This wonderful company is located at 23 South 9th Street in Allentown.
They are the premier and elite meal prep in the Lehigh Valley. What separates them from the others is that they're cooking all week long. I went over to their operation. It is legit awesome food. You did not get to try it because I ate it all when he brought the samples.
He stole it. He said it was wonderful. Those guys are the ones that do all the meal prep plans for the Iron Pigs.
Yeah, they found their niche and they're really growing their company. I'm excited to be a part of what they're doing, and they have, like, I didn't realize that they're doing delivery as well, and that's like a huge backbone of their business is the delivery.
So you have no excuse to not do it.
No, and the other thing too is they're not delivering you all of your meals one day. They're delivering throughout the week. So they're going to start on Sunday morning, and then they will deliver again on Tuesday and on Thursday, and that's in the evening so that you have time to get your meals after 5.
So that means all the stuff is fresh. That means they're cooking continuously throughout the week. That's
and
awesome.
They have people who know what they're doing over there. They have a super creative menu, and you can check out their menu on valleyprep.net, and that's where you're going to find out all of their information on the 3 different plans that they have. It's keto, low calorie, bulk, and I believe they're going to be introducing a athlete program as well, because Bill Lohr, I think, is going to be their first guy on
and
that.
They post it on Instagram and stuff like that a couple days ahead of time, so you can decide if you want in or not. Basically, you pay for the whole week, and they set you up. You can set it for either lunch or lunch and dinner or just dinner. They have tons of options, and it's good stuff. It's not,
fantastic people.
Yeah. Oh, the dude was so awesome when he came in. If you not, check out the podcast. It should be on this podcast. We're going to post another. But yeah, you'll love it. The guy's such a good guy.
They have quality prices that are anywhere between $7 and $9,
which is cheaper than maybe if you go to McDonald's and eat crap.
I mean, even they're right up there with Wegmans prices. I mean, and the food
it's more expensive. Wegmans is way more expensive.
Yeah. So
and this is way better food.
And they're delivering it, and they're doing it fresh all week. So that's valleyprep.net, and that has all your information. They do a shared change program with the high schools. They have meal prep on there. They have keto, low calorie, bulk. You can order right off there. Anything you want to do is connected to this. And then what also they can do is you go on to MyFitnessPal, and that has all your macros for all the calories and everything for the food. So if you're trying to diet or you're just watching what you're doing, it's the easiest way that you can shed pounds. And that's Valley Prep Meal Prep in the Lehigh Valley. They are in Allentown, and it is valleyprep.net. Thank you.
Our next sponsor is Luke Delmeyer Custom Knives. If you've ever wanted a custom knife, say a chef knife, say a camp knife, say any kind of cool custom knives, I'm sure any of you guys have watched Forge and Fire or whatever. This guy actually does that. He makes wonderful, crazy knives. He's leaps and bounds above anybody you're going to have around here. He's a good dude. You can contact him and give him basic parameters of what you want to make for our custom knives. He does sell his own knives on his website.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different knives on the website, and his Instagram as well.
Instagram, he puts it up a little bit, and he'll say, hey, man, I'm selling this. His website's lukedelmeyer.com. Yeah, I mean, he lists a bunch of stuff. Like I said, you can ask for the custom stuff. He's starting a new line, which you can talk about, of the chef knives.
Yeah, the chef knife that he brought over to the studio was incredible, because he showed me the demo one that they started with that he made out of a leaf spring, which is insane. But then what he handed off to me, I immediately just wanted to start prepping and cutting onions.
You were trying to.
I was excited to cook, and that's what a chef knife should do. And if
you just kept telling him you wanted to use it to cut something.
I did. And if you're looking for a chef knife or any sort of custom knives that you would like in your life for whatever reason, this guy, the amount of work that he's putting behind it, the craftsmanship that's behind his actual craft with blacksmithing, the dude's extremely talented, extremely humble, and please go check out his social media, and it's Luke Delmeyer at Instagram. That's where you're going to get a lot of his knives. He's testing the knives.
But you forgot the coolest part.
What's that?
You want to make your own knife?
Yeah.
He's got classes.
Yeah. That's right.
He has his own classes. You can go there, look like an idiot, because that's what I'll probably look like when I do mine. But you can go there, and he offers classes and teaches you how to make a knife. And I think that's awesome, because there is no one and nowhere in this area that does that.
No. And if you're looking for a custom knife of any range, whether it's something that you're just looking for hiking, or if you're looking for a chef knife, or you're just looking to collect something as a hobby, go check out his social media, check out his webpage, get in touch with him, and see which knife is right for you. And that's lukedelmeyer.com. And thank you for being a sponsor. The podcast 15. And I do this every time.
You don't have to do it.
But I want to now. Podcast episode 15. Good. Welcome. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming all the way down here. You're in Allentown, correct?
Yes, I am.
That's like, what, 20 minutes from here?
Yeah, good 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, where exactly are you located?
So the restaurant is actually on 9th Street, 9th and Hamilton, right across from the old Holiday Inn.
And it's Valley Meal Prep?
Valley Meal Prep. Yes, it is.
I came down and checked out the spot. I love food. I love cooking. It's one of my favorite things to do is to cook. So I was excited to come check it out. And it was cool seeing exactly how you guys have it laid out, because I didn't know how it was going to be in my head, like
right.
how you guys lay it out, because I didn't know like how a meal prep runs, because I'm used to being in kitchens. But
Yep.
I want a little bit of the backstory with you guys used to have a restaurant there before, correct?
Correct. We used to be Edie's Eatery, popular breakfast spot in Allentown for a good 2.5 years. Popular for steak and eggs.
Was it just breakfast?
It was breakfast and lunch.
That's the way to do it.
And then we expanded to some evening times from 6 to 9 for a little bit. That was pretty popular. But yeah, it was definitely more popular for breakfast. Steak and eggs definitely was the number one seller. Everybody would come to us for that. And then
did you use chip steak or like a actual steak?
So when we started out, kind of one of our promotions, we were using filet to start, and
God,
we were just we were
you're like, this is expensive.
exactly.
Like, hey, we're losing money.
Exactly. So we started out like that, and the idea for the actual restaurant was to be a cafe. So it was supposed to be coffee and pastries like that. And within the first 2 weeks, they just really loved the breakfast foods that we were cooking.
Isn't it weird when the people change everything?
Yeah. They changed the whole idea, the whole concept.
Yeah, but it's like
nothing what you wanted to do. It's what the consumer wants.
When I lived in Brooklyn for a couple of years, and I went to school right by like NYU campus, and there was literally this little bodega shop that I don't think they sold anything like for real. Mm-hmm. Everybody just went in, and there was literally a hole in the wall, and there was a guy, and you just be like, bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. And it was like literally, I think the guy did it one day just to fuck off, and like now no one bought anything in the store, and all they did was buy breakfast sandwiches. And they'd line up out the fucking door.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
He had to change his whole life probably.
Yeah, all the shit's dusty. Like, it's like, it looks like a front, like a movies. Yep. But yeah, that dude only made sandwiches.
The lady over here, Cozy Cakes, she was there to make like wedding cakes and like expensive cakes and things that you would get for like parties and whatnot. And somebody came in once and was like, why don't you have coffee and cupcakes? And she's like, this is basically so I can meet with clients. Like she wasn't even baking there.
Yeah.
And then they kept coming in, and then they forced her to sell coffee and cupcakes. She sold out of them, but it was like not what she wanted to do at all.
Well, yeah,
that's great though,
dude. If they're going to give you money,
exactly.
You're going to take their money.
You have to adapt.
Yeah,
you got to see what the actual community wants. They'll let you know, and then if you can adapt on the fly, it'll help your business.
Yeah. What did you like? What do you like more, doing what you're doing now, or do you like miss doing any of the breakfast stuff?
I do miss doing the breakfast stuff. I'm not gonna lie. When we first started Edie's, myself and my partner Dwayne, we were not supposed to be the main cooks, and we kind of got forced into that position. And that's kind of when the craze happened, and people were really enjoying his steak and eggs. I did a lot of like pancakes, French toast, sweet stuff for the breakfast side.
And you said some of the stuff where like people were stopping in there to like post a lot of it online.
Oh yeah. It was. I don't know if it was just a unique time when everybody wanted to take a picture of their food and put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram. But when we opened up, that was the wave. So like, I want to say 80% of our customers, if they came into our restaurant and ate, they took a picture of the food and put it online.
But there wasn't really anything like that around there.
No.
Was there?
No.
Right? I don't think so. I'm thinking it back, and I don't think there is.
No. We really tried to create a menu that was unique to us.
Yeah.
And on the onset, the main chef, he was my nephew. His name was Alex. He was born in Belgium, had a lot of French influence, and had a lot of those breakfast items from the French side. And we started with him, and it didn't go as well as we thought it would go. And then we started doing a little more simpler things, and it just really took off, like I said, with the steak and eggs and whatnot.
So you overshot it. Like, his stuff was too...
He was an amazing cook, amazing chef.
Yeah,
but
some people just don't...
Sometimes you just need to be in that bigger city for that to really capture. You know what I mean?
But it's a different thing, too. I mean, I know, like, I took my daughters over to the... what's the new Nazareth Donuts or whatever, Nazo Nuts or whatever, and they make real donuts.
Okay.
Like, it's like, it tastes like an actual baker made them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really heavy, it's really good. And I was like, we're going to go here. So I just want to go to Dunkin' Donuts. And I was like, you don't understand that that's garbage.
Yeah, it's not
like,
the
I'm
same.
trying to take you somewhere where they actually care about what they do.
Yep.
And they're like, well, yeah, but I just like Dunkin' Donut. And I'm like, I'm sure there's a lot of places like that people just say, I don't want anything. I just want simple crap.
Yeah.
But that's boring.
It's boring. And
It's boring.
the chefs that are actually creative and love what they do, you taste it.
Well, we were talking about that with Smokerhead.
Yeah.
When he said when I make food, I can tell like if people are really interested in it or not. And I get this because he said it sounds cheesy, but cook love. You know, you can tell if somebody loves doing what they're doing.
Yeah, if somebody gives a shit
Yeah,
about what they're
yeah.
making, you can definitely taste it.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're in a bad mood and don't want to be at work and you're cooking for people,
Exactly.
it'll taste horrible. But I feel like breakfast, out of all the meals, is like there's just something about like that, like just bacon, egg, and cheese, or that pork roll, egg, and cheese.
Like
And it's
I'll eat that, but I don't want to eat. I don't want to
Like
sit down and have like an omelet. I
if
won't
you
do
hit-
that. I want to have a sandwich.
Yeah.
On the go.
Like if you have like a couple of key breakfast items that really hit, like you can become very popular very fast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you guys like what was your main like what was kind of like the big thing that pushed besides the steak and eggs? Like were you guys like super busy for the breakfast sandwich with like construction workers? Was it mostly takeout?
It was mostly takeout, and it was mostly steak and eggs. Like I said, that was by far our number one seller. We were probably putting out like 30 steak and eggs a day.
That's crazy.
In the morning, at least in the morning. And then at a certain point, we opened it up to the afternoon because the demand for the steak and eggs was so much that we were getting calls for it at 3 o'clock. So we just had to do steak and eggs all day long at a certain point.
So you guys had like a constructed like sound business, and this was the most interesting thing. And when I was telling people about you coming on, they're like, well, like what is that? And I was like, dude, they already had a business that was working.
Right.
And then like how did that slowly turn into you even remotely getting into meal prep? Because were you even meal prepping for yourself or anyone else at that point?
So personally, no, I was not. My girlfriend Tatiana, who started the meal prep business, she started out of our apartment, and
was this going on at the same time you were doing the breakfast stuff?
Exactly. So while I was in the kitchen doing breakfast, she was at home meal prepping for close family and friends.
Yeah.
And it kind of just took off, and I watched her doing it from the apartment, and I really saw the advantages to that business structure as compared to the restaurant.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it just, I'm in there 15-hour days, and I'm like sweating, and it's long days. But you're an entrepreneur. It's fresh. We just started, so you don't feel it in the beginning. It's not until like you start getting cranky and like 2 years down the line, you're like, you know what? This isn't healthy.
And you go through 900 employees.
That too.
And then you're like, fine, I'll just do it myself.
Exactly. But yeah, just seeing what she was doing and how it was working and how simple it was for her to execute. And I was just like, you know what, if we can just bring this into the restaurant and we have enough customer base to support the restaurant, the actual brick and mortar, this will work.
Yeah. And it's almost like mixing catering and running a kitchen together, which is like the benefits of doing catering, which there are some things about catering that aren't the greatest, but like it's still a higher money value, and it's a little bit easier to do because you're on your time, not people just coming in at any pace.
Exactly. The catering, I do like the catering aspect in that sense. just because I do have like a little, I don't like to joke about it, but it's like a little like PTSD of being in the kitchen and people
Oh no,
being,
that's real.
just like walking in the door, the phone ringing, and just like,
Dude, people
we got
don't
10 tickets on the
understand.
board, and it's just like, oh,
People do not
we're gonna be here for
understand.
3 hours cooking. Like, I'm not gonna take a break.
When you're buried in those weeds and there's like 9 tickets and you know that like it's a very weird mix of anxiety and pressure at the exact same time, and you literally just have to harness it and keep it together, because if you lose your shit, it only just gets worse. And there's nothing you can do, because if you do lose your shit, you still have people standing there being like, cool, man, you're doing that, can I have my steak and eggs?
Exactly.
I don't care that you're throwing plates. Could I just have my breakfast sandwich, please?
And that's all.
And the
That's all
customer
they really
doesn't
about.
care. They don't
No.
care about any of that.
No.
I do not miss it at all.
No. And to answer the question, I much rather do the meal prep business than the restaurant
Yeah.
for that reason, because you're on the fly in the restaurant, and it's just, there's no real time to sit back and strategize. You're kind of just in
Yeah.
it, and you're just trying to make
And
people happy.
I'm sure with the meal prep is you can build a base, where the restaurant business, you're at the mercy of who wants to spend money that day, or who
Exactly.
wants to walk through your
so
door.
You can kind of figure out how much you're going to do.
Exactly.
'Cause
I
That's,
mean-
that is the key to
Not
the
not
transition.
saying it's going to be exact the same every single time, but it's the fact that you're like, all right, well, I know there's at least 50 of this and something. Like, you can plan it
Exactly.
out a lot better. Yeah.
Exactly. That really is the key. That was the motivating factor for, at least for me personally, to make the switch. Was seeing that it's a lot easier to get somebody to sign up for your business or whatever it is if you can bring it to their doorstep, than to have them, to try to convince them to come to your place to eat, or
And you
for
still have
whatever it
people
is.
who pick up, though.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
I would say probably 40% of the business picks up. 60% is out there actually delivering.
Now, do they have to pre-order it, or is there just stuff there? Do you just come in and take it?
So majority do have to pre-order, but we do have a couple extra meals every cooking session for people that come in, first come,
Yeah.
first serve type thing.
Oh, cool. All right.
But yeah, it's like you said, it's being able to forecast the cost before you
Yeah.
actually have to go into the actual production. It's so much nicer.
How long did it take for you guys to take the idea seriously of transitioning from her doing it in the kitchen? Like, cause I'm probably sure there was probably like joking around where you're like,
Yeah.
man, this would definitely be a lot easier if we just did what you're doing instead of the steak and egg stuff. And
Yeah.
then like, was that like something that you guys kind of sat down and then were like, look, like, I think we could actually expand that? And then like, how was it digging in that you had to, because I mean, you obviously just couldn't be like, we're a Valley Meal Prep. Like, there had to be a transitioning period. So like, and that had to be super nerve wracking. Like,
Yes.
how did you guys even come to the terms of wanting to change the business? Because you got to have a lot of guts to change a business that's already, it's not like the business wasn't working.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of businesses that don't work and then they rebrand it and they hang signs up that say under new management.
Right,
And
right.
that's like the biggest red flag.
Exactly.
Where it's just like, you.
No change.
So like, how hard was that for you guys to pull the trigger on actually changing your business? And how did it even come about to where you had the discussion?
So she, I want to say she got to a good about 15 to 20 people that were requesting the meal prep service out of the apartment. And so you're talking about, if they're doing just lunches, that's 5 meals per person. If you're cooking in one shot. So it just got to the point where her demand couldn't fit in the fridge at the apartment.
That's crazy.
So she started thinking, we have to expand this some way. So she brought it to me, and we just thought about it. It's like, listen, there's times in the day at the restaurant where we could execute the cooking, because it doesn't have to be
There's always a lull.
exactly. So there's time to actually get it done in the restaurant. So the idea was to bring it in and add value to the restaurant that was already working well.
And has she always cooked her entire life?
I want to say probably since like her senior year of college, she
Yeah.
really got into it, and she really is a great cook. She's self-taught, and I don't know what it is. She can cross a lot of different cultures very well.
Yeah.
And you make
Sometimes
you
I
feel
think
like it's authentic.
I think sometimes self-taught is the best food.
Yeah.
Because you're not mimicking something that you were taught. You kind of find your own way. Like when I started cooking, I worked underneath different chefs, and I feel like what I do is versions of what they taught me, but then I took how I wanted to do it their way and then made it my own.
Exactly.
And I feel like sometimes people get lost in just repeating what they were taught in a school or
100%.
things like that.
Yeah. And that's
my question is this. So you got all these people that love your steak and egg and all that stuff. And then you one day say, we're going to stop. How many times did they egg the front of your restaurant?
Oh, man.
Because Allentown is not forgiving.
No.
And how many times they walk in and just go, what the fuck? Like, what the...
To this day, on a daily basis, I have people come up to me.
Do you guys
and be
offer
like,
steak and eggs on the meal prep?
We offer a variation of the steak, not
Yeah.
steak and eggs per se, because we don't do breakfast at the moment.
Yeah.
But the steak is available in the meal prep,
Yeah.
so you still get that flavor. A lot of the flavors that you loved from Edie's, you can get into the meal prep.
Cool.
But yeah, on a daily basis, I have at least 2 or 3 people asking me, "What happened to Edie's? Are you guys opening back up? Did you relocate? What's going
They just
on?"
walk in, well, I was just here last week and we had egg and no, you didn't. That was a long time ago. No,
But that happens.
No, my sister said she was here.
That
and you
happens.
have arguments with people that don't have any idea what they're talking about.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's difficult on our end because Edie's is named after my mother, who passed away 2001. She died of cancer. I was about 15 years old, but she was like the matriarch of the family, and she kept everything together, kept everybody together. And when we started the business, there was a lot of family involved in the business, so we dedicated the business to her. And it was just so hard to put that idea, that brand, that restaurant to the side because of that connection.
Yeah.
But it sucks to say, but it's business at the end of the day. And if you get stuck on the sentimental value of it, you're going to lose money, and then it could go way worse than...
Plus, you also have to look at it as that...
Would your mom want you to do a business that's going to fail?
There you go.
Or she want you to be happy?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you also have the fact that, like, you started it and revolved it around the idea around her,
Right.
which is if you would have never done that, you would have never got to where you're at now. So there's
Exactly.
still positives connected to it, but
100%.
you're also 100% correct that if you hang on to an idea that's not working, it could literally you just keep putting holes in the ship, and it just keeps sinking every year, and then it could just end up being what ultimately either is, even with from you guys were successful, but you could have burned out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I'm not gonna lie. I did burn out.
Ooh, me
I
too.
was doing 15-hour days, and you have a vision where you want it to go, and when it starts taking a little bit longer than you thought, it starts to wear on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that 15-hour day is no longer like, oh, this is my business, I don't care.
No.
Then it's like, no, I've
Why
been
is
here
this-
for
yeah.
been here for 15 hours. This is a long day.
Yeah.
You know, but it does work out. I want to say, if you keep pushing, keep working, keep thinking about
But you
it.
also have to be brave enough to take decisions like changing what you're doing, especially if it's not even something where it's monetary, it's just general happiness.
Right. And that's a big part of the switch as well. Like I said, I went from 15-hour days
No, you seem very
cooking
relaxed.
to now that I'm more into my realm of accounting and
Yeah.
running the business as opposed to being in there in the fire.
Yeah.
Really.
And you should also, when somebody has a strength, play up on the strength.
Exactly.
Somebody who's got like a massive accounting and numbers background who could be like really tightening things up and making moves and like being like, look, we can save money here and there. If that person is making eggs
Exactly.
and pancakes.
Exactly.
Like,
Guys, I have a degree in accounting. Go make some eggs.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But I mean,
Exactly.
it's hard when you're trying to wear 9 hats and you should only be wearing 2, but then you have to like pick up the slack because it's hard to find good help anymore. Yeah. It's hard to find people that want to work. It's hard to find people that are honest. Like I've seen it all working in kitchens, man. Like people stealing money, people just not charging people for drinks, not charging people for things. So when you brought the meal prep into the kitchen, when did you start realizing that was kind of taking over what Edie's was, because I mean, I assume if it grew out of the fridge and then now it's in the kitchen, it got to a point where it was growing to take over the kitchen, and then that's probably when you guys were like, hey,
Exactly.
like I picture there was a moment where you're probably just like, what are we doing? I don't want to do this for 15 hours. Just like drinking after work. I'm done.
Yeah, no, it's
I
like
don't
you said.
care about the eggs.
Yeah, I still envision the people coming into work like, oh, I gotta make some shit today, and come in like, guess what? We're not doing that anymore. We're not no longer. We're changing everything. Like,
That first week was glorious. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, who comes up with the menus?
Tatiana comes up with the menus. That is her specialty. She each meal is crafted by her and has different flavors in it, different cultures, different things. Each meal. So that all credit goes to Tatiana as far as meal prep and
Yeah, because you guys go across the board. It's not like it's the same thing each week. Like it's just it's really all over the place.
yes, you should
Not in a bad way.
You shouldn't get the same meal twice in the same month unless it's like a popular meal like sweet potato nachos or like a ground turkey ragu.
Yeah, so like, is there things that just became super popular where you're like, yo, we have to do this every week?
Yeah, so like the sweet potato nachos. And it's funny because like not a lot of people like sweet potatoes.
I do.
But once they try our sweet potatoes, they're like, I've never liked them, but this is the best meal I've ever had, and they rave about the sweet potato nachos. That's definitely number one as far as popularity.
Now, when you guys started doing the Valley meal prep and all that, was it always geared towards health, like a healthier meal?
So the meal prep always was geared towards health. But
So was she like trying to help like family members lose weight, or just kind of get on track with just being
just be healthy.
healthier?
Not so much lose weight, just
Yeah.
not
Clean.
eat fast food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just grew from there. But with back to what happened in the restaurant, when we added it onto the business, it was really, we were looking at it like, oh, this could be a nice little add-on revenue to the end of the week. You know what I mean? And then it got to the point where it kept growing. And the fridge space that we had for the actual restaurant
Those damn fridges
started
And
getting
they're
taken
expensive.
up. And they're like, all right, well, we got to buy another fridge. And then once we have to buy another fridge, and then that one starts getting filled, it's like, all right, this could keep going.
Yeah.
And this business, again, like I said, the structure of that business is a better structure to make money and to actually spend time with family and enjoy your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when we were talking, when I came up to check out the place, like when you have a restaurant, there's really only so many doors that open. It's like you can be very popular and you can have a slamming business and make the same amount of money each week, or make, you know what I mean, or be the best breakfast place in the area. And then, you know, you could maybe get it to a point where you're making so much money that you only are open a specific amount of time, and then you get a little bit more freedom. But like with having a restaurant, it's just kind of like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Where when I was talking to you with like what, and we'll get into like how you built all these different things on it, it kind of seems like the doors that you open with the meal prep is a lot more expansion, even from a monetary standpoint, and also from a huge amount of growth.
Yeah. Like we discussed, the restaurant was a small restaurant, the space that we have there. So we have about 15 to 20 people that we could sit at a given time. So there's a ceiling on how much the restaurant itself could do as far as business-wise. And even with packing out the tables and then just a lot of takeout and delivery just going out. But still, there's a ceiling. Whereas with meal prep, it's literally how many people go on the website and order. And then, like I said, we have a week to prepare. So it's just...
How were you guys doing it before you didn't have a website?
Before that, I was texting every customer every Thursday, asking if they would like to sign up for the next week.
Yeah.
And then they'd text me back, and then I'd manually put in every charge.
Oh, man.
It was rough. But luckily, good friends of ours at Touchpoint, they came through. They were a business downtown. I believe they just moved to Philadelphia. But they came through and set up our online website.
How long?
Nice.
I mean, you guys must have been. I mean, did you end Edie's by the time you did the website?
Yes. So we were doing the meal prep, I want to say a good 3 or 4 months out of the restaurant before we decided, like, hey, listen, we're going to have to make the transition, rebrand, because...
How was that conversation?
It's, like I said, it was tough because we're all tied to the brand because it is a popular brand, number one. Everyone's talking about breakfast and lunch chicken teriyakis, the wings and whatnot. So it was tough just to leave that. And then for me, again, on a personal side, it's my mother's name, and it's just like, I don't want to end this
that must have been,
thing.
That must have been tough.
It was hard. But at the end of the day, like we said, she would rather us be okay, our family's doing well, than to try and stick on something that we know it would work. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other restaurant, if you put in the time and the work, you can make it work. But this model of the meal prep is just, it's a different monster. It's just like we would be stupid to not jump into that.
Yeah, because when did you guys finally decide to 100% let go of Edie's?
So at that point, we had I want to say it was November of 2018 when we actually shut down Edie's. I want to say in October-ish, going into November, the revenue for meal prep started to creep up on the revenue for the restaurant. And we sat down and we looked at each other and we were like, hey, listen, like, we're kind of half-assing this meal prep lane. We're 100% Edie's, fried food, steak and eggs, French fries, grease, fried foods, all of that. We're 100% in that lane, and we're now kind of matching that without even branding on the healthy side.
Yeah.
So imagine if we actually just branded the meal prep properly, had its own website, had its own Instagram, so you're not seeing steak and eggs, wings, French fries next to a salad. You know
Yeah.
So
you would either have to run both separately.
But that sounds delightful, that whole part.
So for a good couple months, you had the best unhealthy food and the best healthy food in the same spot.
Listen, they cancel each other out.
There you go.
It just brings it back to normal.
And that's one thing we're talking about. Maybe we offer our meal prep customers
and then just mozzarella sticks,
cheat meals for the weekend.
Does anyone do that where they do meal prep, but it's just like
brownies,
grease,
and brownies with bacon on it?
Like, hey guys, this week we're doing like what's the big the burgers, the smash burgers? Like we're doing that and fresh cut fries.
So this is something that we're gonna probably roll out before 2020, but we're looking to introduce a home style line. So it's not so much healthy. It's lasagnas, meatloafs, the stuff that you really like to eat at home that you don't have to worry about the calories and all that stuff.
And there's some people that just eat that stuff and don't care.
Yeah.
Like 100%. My mom still thinks that a salad with ranch dressing on it's healthy.
Exactly.
There's definitely people from different time periods.
Exactly.
Like I used to say, look, I'm eating healthy, and I would just float my lettuce in Italian dressing.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, yeah, it's good, it's healthy, it's
just
lettuce.
Dripping off the fork.
It's floating. Yeah.
Or like, what else does she do? Like, she'll be like, hey, we're going to do a salad with chicken. And then she's like, and then, we'll make like mashed potatoes and gravy. I was like, what? And then I'm so frustrated. I'm like, you do realize that like this is nothing. And they're just staring at me like, Michael. But that's what healthy was then.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah, remember it used to be the food pyramid. Remember that?
Yeah.
We were taught that forever.
And
now it's bullshit.
Yeah. No, they're saying all that pasta and bread that we're eating was not the best. But
damn it.
Oh, that's the other thing she'd do.
It tastes great.
She'd like, we're going to do chicken over pasta. And I'm just like, Mom, the pasta is why we're all fat. It has nothing to do with the chicken.
Yeah.
She's like, Michael, stop being ridiculous. We have to get her on the show.
It's delicious.
So that would be crazy, though. I didn't even think about doing that as offering a cheat meal or like a home style version of it. Mm-hmm. Man, like that's what I said before is like, there's so many avenues. There's so many avenues of what you can do. Because I don't think there is anybody who would do meal prep that's just junk. But there's definitely a whole market of people that would just be ordering stuff. It's the same people that would be coming in for the steak and eggs.
Dude, I follow a lot of those people. They eat healthy all week, and then there's a cheat day. So the cheat day, just do cookies.
Yeah.
Home cookies.
Oh, that would be delicious.
But do oatmeal raisins, so they're not as bad.
They're not too bad.
When you guys left,
like double chocolate with
When you guys left after the Khabib fight, everyone was like, well, you guys weren't drinking that, but I came back here and there was all the cookies and I ate them all. I was so
when
happy.
you can't stop.
My buddy's wife made them, and she makes a really good cookie. And then like nobody was really getting into them, and I'm like, I'm not telling anybody they're here. I think like maybe 2 were eaten, and I just like came back here drunk and ate an entire tin of cookies. So yeah, cookie meal prep would be a big thing.
You know what?
I would be signing up.
I'm bringing that to the meeting this week. I swear.
So now you guys have decided to 100% go to Valley Meal Prep at this point, and then you're just gonna, we're saying goodbye to Edie's, and then did you guys do like, hey, like we're closing in a couple of weeks, or did you just like shut the door, rebrand, and open?
So it was a difficult conversation that we had of how to actually do it.
It's got to be weird because you're not, because I've worked for people where their businesses just went under, but if you're still making money, like it's got to be like, well, when do we stop?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys talk about running both?
Well, we were doing both for a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I said, once the meal prep took over one of the fridges, it was
when you're
like,
doing 15 hours a day and you're making X amount of money, and then you're doing Valley Prep, and you're not doing as much work, and it's making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
You shut the one side down.
Exactly.
And say, we now have a life again.
Yeah. That's pretty much
What was it like getting your life back?
It was odd. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, you still
free
we're
time.
Not saying but you still can't have that much free time because you guys do a lot of stuff.
But now he's being used for what he should have been being used for.
Exactly.
So it doesn't feel like work to him because it's his strong point.
Exactly. Like me being on the computer for 2 hours a day doing accounting.
I mean,
on
we're
Excel,
not making it sound like you went from like 15 to like 3. Like you're still working.
Let's put it this way. So when we first made the transition, it was just 3 of us cooking. So it was the main cooks from Edie. So it was me, myself, Dwayne, and then Tatiana, my girlfriend. So it was the 3 of us cooking the meal prep. So the 15-hour days went to like 6-7 hour days.
Yeah.
And then as we grew, the hours went a little bit bigger. But then we hired some help.
The pressure's not. I mean, it's not the same cooking.
No. Exactly. And
it's like locking
really
the door and listening to music and talking to your friends.
Being able to lock the door and cook is such a
pretty much
relief.
it's like prep. It's just doing prep.
It's just prep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And I experienced some of it today. Like we were in there doing some prep work, and people are like coming in trying to get Edie's, and some people are just asking questions about
how long has
what meal.
Edie's been closed?
Since November. So yeah.
I guess that's still close enough where people will still come in and be like, "Hey, man, where's the food?"
It's more so like just
10,
hope.
That's 10 months. 11. That's almost a year.
Yeah,
that's not. No, you better figure it out. You haven't been in place in a year.
And they're still like, hey, like,
but that tells you how good that food was.
It was great. It really was. I don't like to toot our own horn, but for the time that we were active in Allentown, we were really talking town as far as food.
Is it hard to run a business in Allentown?
It's easier than I thought it would be. The people in town and the community, if you treat them right, they treat you right. Mm-hmm. And that was the story of Edie's. Like we just tried to put our best into all the food and every product that we put out, and literally the community around us was like, "You guys are treating us, and you guys are doing your best for us. We're supporting every day." And it's just kind of how it was. And it was, like I said, that was the hardest part about making the transition. It was that we had so many like everydayers.
Yeah.
Even if it was just to come you just drink your coffee there in the morning. So many everyday people that were there every single day just to spend a couple.
Do you have people that come in and just have coffee with you? Like they'll bring their coffee in and hang out?
Oh yeah, still yeah. Like so this is where this is where I would have my breakfast for the last 5 months. Like I'm still gonna stop by if you guys are here, and like you're welcome to let me sit down here and chat with y'all. They do it, man.
Yeah,
they do it because we like that. That's we miss that part of Edie's as well. That's the one small part that I do miss is that. You see a lot of happy faces coming in the door when you're cooking in a fast cook.
And especially if you get along with people. Like there's people that I became friends with that just were customers because you see them every single day, and they're just like, "Dude, this cheesesteak," or the burger you're making. Like I remember these two. They were twins that would come in to the deli when I worked in Easton, and they wanted a hot cheesesteak, and I would personally make their things, but I was like, "You want?" When people come in and be like, "You want it hot?" I'd be like, let's go. So I was like throwing jalapenos, long hots in it, but I like made it like legit and added all the stuff. I'd be like dumping like the juice for the long hots on it, and they'd be like, do it all, and then they'd bite into it. And I still remember the guy was like, kid, he's like, you can make a cheesesteak. But I became friends with him because then you just bullshit with them when they come in. So it kind of, there's probably so many mixed emotions with closing the door on Edie's.
Oh man, there's a good at least 20 to 30 people that I miss. I don't know them.
Yeah,
I know them from Edie's. Like we've had many a conversation. Like, but like we're not close friends. Like we don't.
Yeah.
We've never seen each other outside of the restaurant. But like, there's people, man, that I miss. I genuinely miss that. I don't see them anymore. But we try to convince them to do the meal prep, get a little healthy.
Yeah.
Get away from the fried food.
Well, the food looks fantastic. She does such a good job with the menu and just everything.
She does a good job with the variety. Like I said, you rarely get the same meal unless it's a favorite within the same month. And what she does great is she really does a good job of whatever culture it is, she's seasoning it to that culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's using the right spices to bring that authenticity out.
So now, how does it work? Like, if somebody goes to your website and they say, "Hey, I want to try this," they just order for the week,
Yep.
or they order for whatever, and they say, "This is what I want for that week," and they just pay online to do everything.
Yep.
So what is every meal about the same price? Are they different thing? Like, how does that all work?
So we have a lunch menu. We have 3 different plans. We have a low calorie plan, a keto plan, and a bulk plan for the guys in the gym. And each of those plans, they have a lunch plan, a dinner plan, or both. And so pretty much it's a set menu every week. So you can't alter or make changes to the menu. But like I said, you won't get that same menu the next week. You won't see that menu for 4 weeks.
But that takes the total headache away from you guys because then you don't have to deal with like, well, this person wants this, and it would just, it's just set.
And that's
Man, like,
another
that's
thing.
such a good
separating from the restaurant. It's like,
dude,
you don't like
when
this,
you
you don't
guys-
like that. You don't have that option.
When you guys were planning that out and you're probably like saying it out loud and you're like, yeah, but like we're just making this for the week and no one's telling us what to make. Like you're probably like a straight avenue with no roadblocks. Let's go.
Nobody coming in the door and adding on to that order.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It was probably
We can
just
get
like
this done.
moments of like, do you remember when this person did that or they changed this? Like it's just this.
You don't know how many times we'd get an order because it's a small kitchen, so like we're cooking in the back, but we hear every order that's coming in, and we could hear the order. The person will make the order.
Is this organic?
Oh, well,
Are those buns gluten free?
And they'll be like, they'll order the steak and eggs, or they'll order a steak teriyaki, and then they'll be like, once the food comes out, no, I ordered a chicken teriyaki.
Yep.
And then everyone has to look at each other like, we all heard this guy say steak teriyaki.
Yeah.
But you can't say anything. You know what? Apologies.
Yeah.
Give him the chicken teriyaki.
I had a lady who wanted to have her cheesesteak on a sesame seed roll. And she's just like, well, you know, what if enough people asked for a sesame seed roll? And I said, lady, because like how you talk to people after like cooking for a long time, and like I'm probably sure you noticed how you interact with people totally different now.
Oh yeah.
But like I was like, lady, you are the only person who's ever asked for like a wheat sesame roll with their cheesesteak. And she's just like, oh, well, I work at Giant, so what if I bring my own roll in? Can you make? I said, yeah. And she never did, but I was just like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want from me?
They just want you to please them.
Yeah.
Make them feel okay.
That's got to be so refreshing not to have to change anything for anybody.
Yeah. No, it's and we did struggle with that in the beginning because you're trying to grow the business, get more customers and whatnot. So you don't want to restrict people. So there's a lot of people that, hey, I don't like peppers. I don't like mushrooms. I don't like this. You know what I mean? And you're trying not to exclude them from joining the team. You know what I mean?
How do you deal with that?
At this point, we're fortunate enough that we had enough people that like the straight menu as is. So where we could survive off of the people.
That's like a huge testament to the food being that good.
Yeah.
That you don't, like, they're just like, well, whatever they're making.
Exactly.
We're eating it.
Yeah, when you think about it, if you go to the store, even like say you buy like those frozen meals that you cook, you might not like everything in it. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to contact them and say, you got to take the mushrooms out of that. I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. You're buying a meal. It is what it is. It's not,
And then it just, especially now that we're not in the kitchen cooking, try to make it a little bit easier on the girls that we've hired.
Yeah.
So listen, you're cooking for over 100 people, 100 meals. Each meal, whatever meal you're cooking, you're doing over 100 of them. I'm not going to ask you to switch up 2 of them because they don't like onions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pick the onions out.
Exactly. So it's just, at this point, like I said, in the beginning, we were trying to cater to those people. But it got to a point where it's just like, listen, to keep the cook that's making the actual food happy, they're happy and they continue to make good food, we have to make their job easier. And if we have 70 people that are cool with the menu as is, those 3 people are going to have to just tough it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was a tough decision, but it's worked out because our cooks are happier. They don't have to think about too much when they're in the kitchen as far as individual.
They're just creating the menu.
Exactly. And then, like I said, for the most part, those are personal preferences that you grew up not wanting to eat those things. But once you do try them,
and if somebody makes them, like I hated mushrooms for forever. And then when I was working under this one chef, he was just like, I can get you to eat mushrooms. And I was like, I don't like mushrooms, dude. And his brother owned the restaurant, and they didn't get along. So every now and then he would just tell me and be like, look what I put on the order list. And, and he ordered like $70 mushrooms. And I remember they were like these teriyaki things. I never seen anything come so elegant in a box. And I was just like, yo, what are these? And he made a dish with them, and they were the best mushrooms I ever had. Yeah. I've never had better mushrooms. Yeah. But I was like, oh, and then that's kind of when it turned the light on, where I'm like, oh, you get a good quality product and it's cooked by someone who knows what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It can really take away from the fact that I hated them because my grandmother probably just served us undercooked mushrooms on Salisbury steak.
100%. 100%. That's the same way I feel about it. The things that I personally don't like eating, I just feel like I wasn't introduced to that individual food properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As I've gotten older and tried it again, it's like, oh, this is actually really good.
Yeah, especially if the stuff's fresh.
Yeah.
So to get back to what he was asking, so when they go on and order... So what do they do? Like sign up for the week? Like if somebody's signing up for, let's just say, like the keto one.
Okay.
And then they're signing up for, so they go on, then they select like what? Like, do you have to sign up for a week?
Yes. So, well, we've recently added prep by the pound. So we'll get into that. But standard ordering, yes, you order for the week, your 5 days. Either it's lunches, dinners, or both. When you do both, it's a little bit cheaper. When you sign up for a subscription, it's a little bit cheaper. When you sign up for a monthly subscription, it gets 10% cheaper. But yeah, it's a set menu. We put it out every Monday. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the last day to order. So you have those 4 days to look at that menu, decide if that's what you want for the next week. And then you place the order online, and we either deliver it to you or you pick it up. What makes us unique, though, is that we cook throughout the week. So you're not getting 10 meals on a Sunday and you got to keep them in your fridge the whole week. You don't have to freeze any of them to keep them fresh for the rest of the week that you're going to eat on Friday. So what we'll do is on a Sunday, we'll deliver your Monday, Tuesday meals. On a Tuesday, we'll bring your Wednesday, Thursday meals.
Oh, that's huge.
And on a Thursday, we'll bring your Friday meal.
All right.
So you're not eating old food that was made 7 days ago. You know
or
what
something
I mean?
where you're like, man, like you would have to figure it out where if it was something that they would have, like you would have to change the menu as to what would last till Friday.
Exactly. And me personally, I'm not that type of person to constantly be in the microwave, constantly be reheating stuff. And
then people might get turned off by the idea where they're like, oh, I just have this food sitting in here all week and it's just getting weird.
And that's
like,
me.
I hate leftovers.
That's me.
My dad has no problem eating leftovers until we have no food left. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to eat that. Like, it does not taste the same. It is not. I mean, that's such a huge thing to offer, to have it brought out every 2 days.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. It's not a good thing that I don't like leftovers, but it helps me in this business that I make sure that the product is as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
Because I know that someone like me, if it's been in the fridge for 2 days, you're debating whether you want to even eat it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we definitely strive to make sure that all of our products are as fresh as possible.
So then when the person orders, like, let's say they sign up for the week, so then you're dropping it off Sunday, you're dropping off Monday, Tuesday?
So it depends. If it's being delivered to your home address,
yeah,
we put you on the Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule.
Is it more for delivery?
Yes,
Yeah.
delivery, and to be honest, because delivery really is for this business, for the consumer perspective, for this to be the best experience, it's the delivery, because you don't have to think about going to pick up the food, you don't got to think about cooking the food, you don't got to think about what you're eating, you don't got to think about paying if you're on a subscription. The food is just coming to your doorstep every 2 days.
And that's getting very popular because I know people are even doing that with groceries now.
Exactly. Yep. Instacart, same thing. You don't have to go there to the actual grocery store, shop the stuff. You pay an extra $2, and they're gonna bring it to your doorstep.
Because I mean, Grubhub, what's it, Uber Eats, all that stuff. What's the one where they'll just get anything? Like you can just get like a
Postmates.
PlayStation. Yeah,
Postmates.
you can like order a PlayStation and like some guy drops it off. I didn't even know they were doing that. I guess that's huge in the city.
Actually, I haven't heard of that one yet.
What?
Anything, yeah.
Like,
Postmates, I think, is still for food, but
there was one. Hannibal Buress was on a podcast, and he was talking about how he was bored, and he just had some dude go get Madden, and they were drunk, and he was just like, so they did this service. I forget what it was called, but he got them to go get an extra controller because they didn't have one, like a bunch of food, and then
makes sense.
Madden.
Makes sense in the city because it takes you forever to get anywhere. So, yeah.
Where did it go from? Because you guys expanded again, so now the Valley Meal Prep's taken off. People are doing the subscription base. You have the website going, and now everything's working. What was the next step that really made it bigger? Was that getting hooked up with the Iron Pigs? Because that was crazy when Bill told me that you were doing the food, and then I started following you, and I was like, damn, I'm like, they're doing the food for the Iron Pigs?
Yeah. It's the Iron Pigs is, the way I look at it, it's a separate thing. It helps us when we're trying to sell the meal prep or sell the athletic line that we're going to release.
Yeah.
But it kind of just adds a little bit of credibility to the business.
Absolutely.
Just because the Iron Pigs in the Lehigh Valley, it's a big deal. It's a great time whenever you go to a game. It's entertaining, and I'm a big baseball guy, so like I'm kind of biased towards it, but it's just a good time for the family when you go out to the game. So I know a lot of Lehigh Valley people enjoy going there, and to be associated with that brand helps us a lot. And then to actually be able to cook for the players, and the players enjoy it, and they're bringing us back year after year, that also, like I said, it makes all of our customers feel a little bit more comfortable. Like, oh wait, you know what? They're feeding the professional baseball team of the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they can feed me. You know
How did you even get hooked up with them?
So the Iron Pigs, that was through Edie's. It's kind of funny. So it was actually the AAA Red Sox team, the Pawtucket Red Sox. They came into town, and they Googled us, and they asked for a breakfast because it was a Sunday game.
And this is Edie's?
This was Edie's. So they came through, and they asked for a breakfast for Edie's. So we
Dude,
did.
so like you were like, that business was that thriving that you were like kind of like trending and going like a little bit viral for like you
Edie's was viral, 100%. At least in
if you would
downtown
have stuck
Valley.
it out, you might have had Guy Fieri at that son of a bitch.
Yeah, that
going
was
to Flavor Town.
That was definitely in our weekly meetings. That was one of the topics of trying to get diners, drive-ins, and dives to come to check us out.
But it sounds like you were on your way of doing something like that.
100%. If we would have stuck with that plan, I think yes, we definitely would have had him come out here by then.
You would have been working 20-hour days.
Well, that's also the thing. It's when people are expecting a certain quality.
Yeah.
You got to be in that kitchen to make sure that quality is there. And with the fast service cooking, like you really, really have to be there, because that 15 minutes of that person not caring is 5-6 orders going out that is going to affect the business.
Yeah. So now the baseball guy came into town, and then you guys fed them?
So we fed the Red Sox. So what I did, once we fed them, it was one or two things. We're not really 100% sure of how it went down. But once we fed the Red Sox, I made an Instagram post, and I tagged the Red Sox and I tagged the Iron Pigs in it, saying, hey, thank you for the Red Sox for using us for your catering. We hope sometime that we can feed the home team.
Yeah.
So either they saw that post.
Which that was brilliant, because that makes them feel like, well, wait a minute.
Exactly. It's the home team. And the Red Sox won that game.
Yeah.
So, So they either saw that post and reached out after that, or the locker rooms are right across the hall in the clubhouses. So they either saw the post or they smelled the food from across the hall, and they were like, "What are they eating that we're not eating?" And I want to say, so that was probably 2017, and then the Red Sox came back in 18, and we catered for them again. And this is when the Iron Pigs reached out to us after we had catered for them again, and pretty much asked if we would be willing to do the same thing for the team, for the Iron Pigs. And they put us on a trial, so we were doing their pregame meals for a little bit.
What do they get? Like when they're doing the pregame meals and stuff? Because, I mean, they're not getting what's on the menu, correct? Are they asking for things? Do they have a nutritionist that's like,
right,
hey, this is what these guys need to be eating?
Exactly. So they have a nutritionist, Kelly. She's awesome. She works with us. She's pretty much our bosses. She hires us and tells us what they can eat, what they can't eat, and we work with her on a weekly basis while we're in season. And they get a lot of the similar things that we offer in the meal prep. It's just buffet style. And it's just regulated portion-wise a little bit differently because the athletes need a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they are eating pretty much the identical meals that you would get in the meal prep. It's just buffet style.
Did you see the business spike once you started advertising that, or were they advertising that you guys were feeding them?
So this year was the first year that we actually started a sponsorship with them, and we started advertising that we're the official meal prep company of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
Did they put that up at the games and like announce stuff and all that?
Exactly. So
that's gotta be cool, especially if you're a huge baseball fan.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Just being able to go into the clubhouse for me is like
it's
like a dream for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, for the end of the games, at the end of every home game, the scoreboard would pop up. The final score would be brought to you by Valley Prep Meal Prep.
Oh, that's cool.
The announcer would come on and say, "Hey, final score brought to you by Valley Prep Meal Prep, the official meal prep sponsor of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. If you're looking for the best meal prep in the Lehigh Valley, go to valleymealprep.net." So at every home game this past year, that's what they did, and that definitely brought us a lot of attention, and like I said, credibility.
That's huge
probably
exposure.
The most. Oh yeah. So this year we're probably gonna do a little more billboard work with them. Probably switch it up, try and change it up, see what else will bring some more business. But definitely staying affiliated with the Iron Pigs, 100%.
Now, when you're talking about the athletic line, was that something that came about working with them?
So it's something that we've had in the pipeline. Like we were talking about, as far as meal prep, there's so many different lanes that you can jump into. Whether it's we choose to do breakfast, or we choose to do vegetarian, or we choose to do an athletic line.
I didn't even think of vegetarian.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities.
So
it's endless.
And we offered vegetarian for a little bit, but it's funny. We had vegetarian as an actual menu item, and we only had one person doing the vegetarian for about a year. And the week that they stopped doing the vegetarian, and we were like, oh, all right, the one person that was doing it, they're off, so now we can just keep all the menus straight. That week that they hopped off, another person hopped on and started doing the vegetarian. So we always have at least one person doing vegetarian.
That's crazy. You would think more people, because I know there's there's vegans in the area and vegetarians and whatnot. It's crazy. There's only one person.
Yeah, and that was surprising to me as well.
They're probably too weak to.
Yeah, we're thinking like, hey,
they only eat vegetables. They're like, I wish I had protein.
No, but I mean, and there's also a lot of people who start getting into vegan and vegetarian and don't know how to go about doing it, or like they're just trying to stay focused and whatnot. But if I was going to do
if
that,
you said I'm going to go vegetarian and somebody's cooking and making all the decisions for you,
or at least you could do it for a couple months and learn what it is. But I don't know. I'm not. Maybe I'll just do it for a couple months just to do it. It'd be funny to go vegan.
I'll fucking tackle a cow right now and throw that fucker on a fire.
I'll go vegan for a show or something.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I would like to just do it to see it from that perspective, because there's so many different things that you would have to read up on, and there's a lot to pay attention to. But to have somebody prep all that and just be able to do it.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Just on the to be honest, on the keto plan alone, it's intricate. Because when you're changing people's diets, it can get tricky.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're doing,
And I feel like
you
a
can
lot of
hurt
people
them.
jump into keto because they just think it's Atkins, and then they get into keto, and then they're not doing keto correctly.
Exactly.
And then they're like I know people that did it, and they're like, I got really sick. And I'm just like, well, you're probably doing it wrong.
Yeah. So well, if you're not doing it correctly, you could have the opposite effect.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not actually into the ketosis,
In a ketosis state.
Because that's what I don't think people realize is that keto is because you hit a ketosis state, and then I think some people go into it and don't understand that, and they're just like, well, I can just eat meat.
right? I'm not eating the sugar, and it's
Yeah.
gonna work. No, once you're in the
It's
ketosis,
clogging arteries.
Exactly.
I ate 2 pounds of bacon.
exactly.
This is the best diet ever.
But if you're not in ketosis,
Yeah.
you're just adding fat to your diet. You're
And you have to like
worsening the
check
problem.
if you're in ketosis, correct?
Yeah.
Because like I like one person I knew, they were like, well, I have these urine strips, and I have
Yep.
to check if I'm in ketosis, and I'm like, I know a bunch of people are doing keto, and they don't talk about any of that shit
Once
that you
again-
just talked
Once
about.
I know
again-
we have customers that they'll call us and be like, hey, I'm on the plan, and I tested myself today, and I'm good to go. I'm very happy that you guys kept me on it.
How do you get into ketosis?
So pretty much what it is your body naturally runs off of the carbs and the sugars for your energy.
Yeah.
So when you switch to the keto plan, what you're doing is you're starving your body of the carbs and the sugar, so that your body then naturally changes over into using the fat for your energy. So it'll start burning fat instead of burning the carbs and the sugar for your energy. So once you make that switch into ketosis, even while we're just sitting here, your body's burning the fat so that you have energy instead of just burning the sugar that you're just consuming nonstop. So once your body does that, you're cutting away at your fat when you're not exercising, when you're not doing anything. And then when you do the exercise and you start eating right, all of that together, it just makes it that much faster that you lose the fat cells in the body.
Can you like, if you did it correctly, we're in ketosis and we're working out, you could drop weight super fast?
Oh yeah. So one of our customers, he's an MMA fighter. He comes to us whenever he's about to fight.
Who is it?
His name is Marcus Hardiman. He's still amateur, but he's had, I want to say, 3 or 4 fights, very close to becoming pro.
Cool.
But we sponsor him, and we're on the journey with him. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
But yeah, every fight he comes to us, and he's got to cut, but he needs to have enough protein and energy in him to maintain to train.
I was telling the guys over at Finishers MMA, I want to hook you guys up, or hook you up with them.
Okay.
Because they have fighters and just the jiu-jitsu guys. And I was like, dude, with somebody doing meal planning and like that, especially for somebody who needs to cut weight, that's got to be so much easier.
And I could definitely have him
We
come
should
on
just pretend we're cutting weight. we got a fight coming up. I need to lose 100
Exactly.
pounds.
Once again, I will put a cow in a fucking headlock, and I will fuck that.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's got meat on.
No,
that's the thing.
it's very good. So a couple of people I know that were on keto, and everyone I'd see him, I was like, you just eat steak all the time? Like, this is amazing. And then other times you see them, they're just miserable, and they're eating like nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't just eat that.
Yeah.
And then you look into it, and it's like, I can't do that. So
It's
it is
tough.
hit or miss. I mean, there was one of my friends that did it that didn't do it right, and went to the doctor, and doctor's like,
You're dying.
you lost a lot of weight, but you're not
healthy.
You're not good.
You're not healthy.
And
right.
he did it like, I don't know how he did it, but he did cut a shit ton of weight, but he wasn't healthy. But then 2 of the other people I knew lost a lot of weight, and they were clean bill of health. The doctor's like, I don't know what you're doing, but just keep doing. Like, they did it without telling their doctor, just to see what would happen.
Right.
And they were like, you clean bill, like you're doing this correct. Like, there is a way to do things correct, and there's.
But the other thing that you have to realize is that when you start dropping that weight and you're eating healthy all the time, and there was a point in my life when I was at the weight that I wanted and was super healthy, when you're eating like that all the time, you're not like, oh man, this sucks. You're fueling your body, and then that's what's normal. Mm-hmm. Like when you start eating healthy food all the time, and then you go back to eating like if you cut salt out and then you go back to salt, you're like, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. So I think if you got going on something and you would be all right with it.
My job prevents me from doing that, and I know people say, "Oh, so."
But look how you were with energy drinks.
You know what I did today? Yeah, you know what I did today? I ran around all day. I went to court for 2 cases. I came back and literally shoveled Chinese food down my throat.
Wouldn't
and then
that be crazy?
Walked around and felt like I was gonna vomit.
Wouldn't that be crazy if there was a Valley meal prep in Allentown that you could go right to and pick up your meals?
That's technically
and then
only
it wouldn't be Chinese food and you would be eating
five
healthy.
blocks away. Well, the thing was, I was running
There
around.
was absolutely no excuse.
We have a little Asian flair.
No, what I'm saying is, I didn't even order the food. Like, I didn't have time to order. I just came back and they're like, "Look, we got you food."
You
And
are
I
the
go,
perfect
"Cool."
candidate for meal prep.
Maybe, I don't know. You're only 5 blocks away.
Yeah, man. I guarantee.
I can deliver it personally.
I guarantee that food's 20 times better than anything you would get takeout.
Oh, the Chinese food is horrible.
Yeah.
You'd
probably maybe fight over Popeyes being better.
Oh, listen.
He's a huge Popeyes fan.
Oh, it's so glorious.
It's so good. It is good. I'm not gonna lie.
I've yet to have. I drove by and like what's crazy is that chicken sandwich thing went so crazy and viral. I drove by the other day. Actually, it was when I was coming over to see you.
Yep.
And I went by and I was like, if I end up going home this way, I'm definitely stopping. But the GPS didn't route me that way, and I was pissed. I was like, how would I get back to Airport Road?
Well, no,
I was like,
we
I'm
had-
not doubling back.
We had somebody sign on a bail that worked at Popeyes, and as soon as they walked in, I was like, what? Why do you?
You're like, give me a
like,
lock of your hair.
Why do you smell? I was like, why do you smell like that? And she was like, what? And I go, you work somewhere, like I can smell. And she's like, yeah, I work at Popeyes.
Do you know how
and I was
hard?
like,
Do you know how self-conscious people are that cook? That they're just afraid they smell like grease all
do.
the time. You ruined her day.
good. When I was working at the pizzeria, I always smelled like a fucking pizzeria. All my clothes smell like a pizzeria.
It's
all the time.
terrible. I always hated that. And then like my friends would be like, "Yo, come out. We're going out in Easton." So I'd like quick change, and then I'd show up, and then they're all looking at me like, "You definitely smell like French fries."
Yeah. Super French fries.
But yeah, I felt so horrible today. It's so bad. But the thing is, what sucks is, like, I didn't order the food, but literally the place where we order our food, we can call, and it's less than 10 minutes.
Who's in charge of ordering?
crazy.
Who's in charge of?
I swear to God, we're positive that they're cooking it in the parking lot.
Yeah,
Because there's a couple times we called and we took a couple, and they're like there. And I was like,
Who's in charge of ordering?
The lady who works in the front.
And does your boss pay for the food, or is it
Yeah.
everybody kick
Oh,
in?
I don't pay for it.
So your boss could literally put all. I can't ever
That's
say
terrible.
literally.
Yes.
Someone told me that I can't pronounce literally, and I can't. I say literally.
literally.
So literally, I'm not even
Literally.
doing that as pretend. You could get your boss to sign up for Valley Meal Prep, and it'd probably be cheaper than what you guys are blowing on fast food.
But
all
you
the
know
time.
as well as I do.
That is true.
Trying to convince him that something is new.
I
It's
guarantee.
a good
I
idea.
guarantee if he came in there and took 5 minutes and talked to your boss and handed him
No,
the
I'm
menu,
telling you.
it'd be game over.
I had to.
I'm making it a point
Listen,
for you to do
listen.
this.
I'll bring some free samples. I'll do it.
I had to sit him down because he called me from the. He called me from the store, flipping out, just going. Do you believe that I went into Staples and they don't have a single fucking fax machine that I can buy? And I said, no.
What?
Since 1982, people don't really use faxes that much anymore.
You just have
And
to
he
get
goes-
a printer and it
he
comes
goes,
with a
this
fax
is
machine.
bullshit. And I said, why don't you get an all-in-one that has a fax function in it?
Dude, my parents just got one for $25.
Yeah, dude, he was so pissed off.
I have to fix it.
So I
was like, you didn't get the $40 one? Because like the $40 one like has the screen that tells you what's
Yeah.
going on. His version, you have to like, it's like hold 3 buttons down till they blink. I might throw it out and buy him another one while they're on vacation. That's how easy it is to get a fax machine.
I ended up going into the other Staples down off MacArthur, and I walked in and I took a picture of the fax machines that were there, and they're yellow. They're supposed to be white, and they're yellow.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like,
That's
they've
not
been
long
sitting
ago.
there for that long. So I ended up getting him an all-in-one. You can get an all-in-one with fax and all the shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, how much is that? And I go, $80.
Yeah.
And he goes,
that's like the
I was
high
gonna-
end.
I was going to get the brother fax, and it was like $180. And I go, why?
It's just
Yeah.
Who are we
facts.
faxing? We don't fax anybody. But anyway, it took me weeks of yelling at him just to let him, to finally, he walked in and just threw money on my desk and just take care of it.
Food's different though, man.
So-
if he brought over samples, I'm
gonna do it.
I'm gonna
I'm
hook
gonna
up.
do it.
So let me explain. My boss
My
will
boss.
go to the store and look for deals for food. So our fridge that we have is full of dips and like meats that are like, like sliced deli meat stuff.
Yeah.
It's all shit.
Yeah.
So if I
Yeah.
try to bring food in, I can't even use the fridge. So he comes in, he's like,
Yep.
there's all kinds of stuff. He ate yogurt that was 3 months expired today.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
He opened up.
See,
He goes.
you
I
need,
swear to
what
God,
you need to do
Oh,
is
no.
fill the
he's like a
fridge
billy
with the
goat.
meal plan.
So he comes in, he's eating, and he goes, it tastes fine. I said,
no.
I'll call you.
I want to
in
bring
3
your
hours.
boss on.
Yeah.
Dude.
We're trying to get him to sponsor the show. He tells me all these stories about him. I'm like, I just want to talk to this dude. He just sounds crazy and impulsive.
He just eats garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. Yeah, he had one of those
I think it's
things
time to get
of,
you
like,
guys
head
healthy.
Cheese. Who eats head cheese?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
disgusting. And he has
Like
it
the
all
wheel?
wrapped up. He opened it up and just was eating on crackers. And I go, okay. And then he wrapped it up. And then like a month later, it's still there. And I was like,
no.
we threw it away. And he goes, where'd my cheese go? I go, are you fucking, you're a crazy person. What do you mean we threw it away? It's old. It's not old. You fucking people throw this shit. He's crazy.
no.
His
That's too
stomach
much.
is like an iron fucking vault.
It's
So,
gotta be.
Trying to convince him to change anything.
I think you guys.
gonna be
I think
rough.
you can do it.
Listen, I got faith in the product. I'll
You're
bring
five-
some
you're
some
5
freebies in.
blocks
I'll tell you,
away.
no,
Yeah.
You're
I will tell you.
5 blocks away.
I drive by every day.
Listen, I will tell you that the way to do anything in the office is you talk to Liz out front.
Okay.
Okay, It's our secretary. She's
It's the
cooks
gatekeeper.
everything.
All right.
So she's Puerto Rican.
All
she
right.
cooks with all that fucking flavor. She brings stuff in, and it's like, oh, everybody gets excited. She's got everything's very vibrant. If you go in and you win her over, she'll just go, "We're doing this," and he'll go, "Okay, yes," and then he just does whatever.
So
This
Liz,
is a
You
done
gotta
deal.
win her- you gotta win her over. You gotta
What?
win her over. So I'll cook for Liz, and she'll cook for me. And he comes in and just goes, "Why does it smell great in here?" Like, because we're eating real food.
Yeah.
You're eating chips.
head cheese.
Chips.
Chips,
Deli meat.
dude. It's horrible.
Oh, it's bad for you.
It's horrible. But anyway, yeah, that's how you win.
Listen, you'll
Liz.
see me. You're gonna see me next week,
Yeah, that's how
Liz.
you win.
Liz.
Oh, she's
The
such a
plug.
great cook. She'll come in. She's like, "Oh, I make this," and she said like all her friends, she'll make food, and all of her friends say like, "You cook how they do, back home." So she brings all. It's so good.
And, do you guys do catering? 'Cause
Yeah.
You said you did, which I didn't even know you did.
Yep.
But you said you did Bill's daughter's birthday.
Yep. We did Bowie's birthday party. All kinds of catering. We do weddings. We do
Damn, so
birthday
you're
parties.
doing that
Listen,
stuff on top.
if you got money, he will take it.
Exactly.
But you probably have time to do the catering because you're not swamped with
Yep.
You're still swamped with the cooking, but you can actually plan it out a lot better because you're not like I remember cooking and then them being like, "Hey, we have catering next week," and just being like, "Ugh."
Exactly. No, that's
Because you're
exactly what it
taking
feels
a
like. It's like, oh,
beating.
this is like a 4-hour ordeal that we're gonna have to do.
It's just more stress on top
on
of
the
stress.
schedule.
Like, oh, well, they want it delivered at noon when it's going to be the busiest possible here.
Exactly. That was the other thing when we were cooking at Edie's. We were doing the walk-ins, and then we'd get a catering. An office would call us, "Hey, we got 15 people. Can you cater our lunch right now?" And then you've got 15 wraps, sandwiches, meals that you got to make on top of all the people that are coming in.
Do you do anything like that where customers will call and be like, "Yo, can you do catering at all today?"
We usually tell them we need at least one day in
Yeah.
advance. If we can make it happen, we'll make it happen.
Do you get corporate events like that where people just want to change something up? Like young Jesse over here wants to put a little bit of health in the office. So they'll call and be like, "Hey, can you guys do like a catering for our Christmas party?" And do you get like
Yeah,
we
please.
used to get
our catering. Our party last year, we went to Wegmans.
Oh,
had them
listen to
cater
this
it?
story.
Oh, good God!
Love Wegmans.
Listen,
He doesn't.
no, the food isn't bad. Like their actual smoked wings and stuff are good.
Okay.
So we ordered all the stuff. We sat down and we like planned everything out. We figured like how many people are going to be there. So we over ordered. And the one thing said that it was a sandwich tray. It was a deli meat tray. So it had like cheese and different kinds of meat and stuff. And then it came with rolls and all this crazy stuff. It said it fed 17 to 21 people or something like that.
Okay.
And we paid all this money. We seriously dropped like a couple $100 of just, and we show up and they bring this thing out and I go, "Is this like the first part of it?" It literally was this big.
Nah.
And I go, "What is this?" And she said, "That's the thing." And I said, "That's not going to feed 17 to 21 people." And she goes, "Well, those are suggested sizes for people who eat like smaller portions." And I looked at her, I said, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Yeah, this is not a
There
party.
isn't even 17 pieces of shit on here to serve 17 people.
Right.
How does this work? And I swear to God, every tray we got, it was supposed to be for at least 20 people. They were literally this big, and we paid all this. I put it on, and it fit in half of the cart.
Oh my god.
And we dropped like fucking $350. And I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's what they said. It's for people who eat smaller portions. What the fuck does that mean?
People that don't like to party.
People that don't eat, like people that are stupid and don't know math.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we made this for 20 people. Well, it clearly made 2 sandwiches,
Ugh.
so it's good for 2 people.
Yeah.
No, it was bad. We had all this, so then we had to go, and he was just like,
This is the best part of
he
the
goes,
story.
I don't care, just go get more. So then we walked down the deli aisle and
Oh,
literally
no.
bought lunch meat and tried to make it look like it was
Bigger.
part of the thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
we had
crazy.
to fix it. And then I walked in and out 7 times for booze because you can only buy so many things.
You had a terrible time at Wegmans. I
Yeah.
love Wegmans.
Oh, I fight
That
there
is
all
a
the
bad
time.
experience. I'm not gonna lie.
Another time I went in to get a layer cake for a birthday,
Okay.
and I waited and I had the cart, and then it was sitting there, and there was a lady talking, and I had it sitting on top of the cart, and I said, excuse me, and she didn't do anything, and I said, excuse me, and then she just looked at me and stopped what she was saying, looked at me, and went back and started talking again. No, I don't do that. That's not
No.
how. That's not. Maybe in your little,
Yeah.
your little suburban world, that's okay for you
Yeah.
to do. So I just go, get the fuck, and I push the cart, and away the lady moved out of the way. So I just went
God.
right out the fucking store, and I went, and my mom was like, that was a little harsh.
Yeah,
And
to
I
all
said,
you
no.
to all you kids listening, that's not how you act in public.
That is how you act. Listen,
You want things done.
I am very polite. But
I
the
hope
fact
no
that she
children
went,
listen to this show.
no, they don't. But the fact that she thought in her head that she was above everybody, that she
Right.
could just fuck you.
Ignore
That's
it
how
without it acknowledging.
And that's what I see Wegmans doing. They all, when I go there, it's everybody who thinks that they're above everybody. The only thing good about Wegmans,
I don't care. I'll take that over the monster truck fans at Giant.
but the only thing,
There's at least good-looking
Yeah, but-
women at Wegmans all day, every day.
Giant,
Nothing but good-looking
Giant,
women.
if you go in
You're
like
right.
11
I'll
o'clock
pay
at night,
$2 more for a tomato for the little heinies I'm seeing in there.
go at 11 o'clock at night and there's nobody there. But no,
It's true.
yeah,
Just the kids stealing candy.
yeah.
I always eat candy when I'm in those places.
The only
all
good,
of them.
no, the only good thing that Wegmans does is my wife has family up in upstate New York.
My wife.
where Wegmans started.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So when you go up there, the science museum they have in there, they have a whole floor that's Wegmans, and it looks like a miniature store for kids.
Okay.
So they have little carts, and the kids go in, and there's literally aisles and aisles of stuff, and the kids will go take stuff, and there's people at the cashiers, like the kids will check out the food, and there's people with the uniforms on that literally all they do all day is pick up the stuff that
Pretend?
the kids, pretend, and they
They're
restock.
charging
They
them?
restock the shelves. Like it's a full on, like it's a store. Like that's the only thing that's cool.
That's
That
awesome.
there's like people, and I was like,
What if you don't
that's
have
a pretty
kids?
shit job. Like you don't-
Pretend all
like
day.
I'm gonna work for Wegmans, and you put it on. They're like, no, you're not working at real Wegmans. You're gonna work at the kid one.
It's like the kindergarten teacher from Billy Madison.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Just lunatics. Do you like broccoli?
The blob.
All right, let's get
The blob.
let's get back on track. Sorry.
So now, speaking of kids, the latest thing that you guys are doing is you're getting into schools,
Yes.
which was awesome. One, like, because you even told me that where I'm like, well, you're in the Iron Pigs, and then you're like, and then you told me that you were now getting into schools, and I'm just like, dude, there's literally endless
Yeah.
stuff that you could do.
Yes.
So what's your, because when you explain it, and I'm going to try and help you get into Easton and some other schools where I know some teachers, is like, what's the whole layout of what you're doing? Because you guys are giving back a little bit as well.
Yes. So
What if you were like, no?
Yeah, right.
You
But
misheard me.
we're not doing that anymore.
Robbing them blind.
we're gonna take the money somewhere else. No, but we did start a high school initiative this year. We're partnering with Allen and Dariff right now. What we were doing previously was giving 10% off of teachers every week off of their meal plan. So what we're doing now is we are taking that 10%, instead of giving it to the teachers, we're going to donate it straight back into the actual high school. So we met with the Allen principal, Mr. Mayfield, and the Dariff principal, Mr. McCool. And pretty much what we're doing is every week, all the teachers that come in sign up for the Shared Change program. They put in the discount code Shared Change Canary Nation if they're in Allen, or Shared Change Dariff if they're from Dariff. And pretty much 10% of all of those sales go right back into those schools.
And then they can choose what they want to do with that money, or is it going into a specific thing?
So we're in contact with both principals to determine what would be the most effective way for this money to go.
Yeah.
So each principal, they have their respective programs where they think will help the most. So
and that's huge for especially a high school who, like, say there's something that's not getting enough funds to it. Like I know some schools where they're like, hey, we're getting rid of the soccer program.
Exactly.
So like you'd be able
they
to.
should anyway.
I don't mind soccer. Shout out to Alessandro. I never watched soccer till I worked at the deli with my buddy, straight from Sicily.
Okay.
And then like seeing their view of like.
Oh, the World Cup?
Yeah, that's their thing. So he used to always have it on his phone, and he started explaining. Once you understand what's going on, it's super intense.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Do you watch soccer?
Personally, just the World Cup.
Yeah.
When the World Cup's on, I do tune in and
Yeah.
and watch all the games.
He was diehard, man. He had like a website and a vlog he was doing for a while.
I pushed the buttons extra hard to turn it off.
I don't mind it. Dude, if you're watching like who are like the real big soccer guys like Messi
Yeah.
and like those other dudes, like those dudes are incredible athletes.
Remember,
There
I
you
used to
go.
have the chance on my phone. I got to put them back on.
Yeah.
The USA ones.
Anyways, if you want to save a soccer program,
No, you don't.
Exactly.
So let's
We've got you.
Let's save like the music program.
yeah,
But
That would be something that
Or the arts.
because any of the arts, usually music is the one they cut first.
Right.
Because they'll do everything else like the drawings and stuff like that they can put on the walls, but music is always the first one they cut.
Right.
So
And that's the goal of the initiative, is to hit the departments in the schools that the teachers are coming out of pocket to pay for things.
Yeah.
That's just wrong at the end of the day. So
you'd be surprised how much they do too. My wife's
Yeah.
a teacher.
okay.
So to be able to go, even at the beginning of the year, I yell at her, but
where's she a teacher at?
I can't tell you. It's on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
In
that's
the
right.
in the valley.
Teachers
we'll
are very
say.
secretive.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm just saying. You
But
got
what
them
I'm
in.
saying is they no, they go to pocket for a lot. Like she buys a lot of stuff for the kids, and then even my daughters when they're in school, beginning of the year they get a list, and it's like, here the school needs this stuff. So I was like,
Yeah,
weren't we
exactly.
paying fucking taxes? And they're like, we need crayons, pencils, all this stuff. And I was like, isn't this what I'm paying for?
Exactly.
So instead of just buying, it says like, please bring like 2 of these items. My wife will buy everything on the list because she's like, I'm a teacher,
Yeah.
and we need this. And I was like, oh, I have other things like booze and guns to buy. So your priorities
and
are
Chinese
completely
food
fucked up.
and Wegmans
But-
Christmas party trays.
Yeah.
But that is the concept, to be able to,
Yeah. But
specifically
they
in
do
your
need it.
in your
They do
family
need it.
dynamic,
Yeah.
we want, and it's not just our business. What we want is that every business and a local community, so it doesn't have to be Allentown, doesn't have to be Bethlehem, Easton. If you're conducting business in a community that could use the help, give the help.
And the thing
Yeah.
is,
I mean,
and
if
if
they're
you,
supporting you.
and if you do help, they will support you back.
Even more.
It makes sense. I mean,
Exactly.
Sicily's does it for the high school over here. Anytime there's any kind of sporting thing, they deliver pizzas, they do all this
Yeah.
stuff, they do trades.
Exactly.
And all those kids in return will, after a football game,
Go
to the pizza place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Redoing the skate park, that opened a lot of doors for me. Like they had the skate park, and it was just there was problems between the kids and the. There was a guy who ran it, and then it just kind of went to the wayside, and then different people were in control of it, and then I just had a lot of friends who were going down there, and their kids were skating there, and it was just needed to be fixed. And then I went to the borough and was like, hey, what's going on? And then I was like, I'm going to do this. It's not going to cost you any money, and I'll get it done. And then I used to go to the town meetings and all this stuff and put all this time and effort into it. My friends all chipped in. We sanded everything. They had the paint, but they weren't painting it because they weren't getting along with the kids. So they basically just needed someone in between to just cool things down, and it's what I did. And then my friends came in, and my brother, and even the place I was working at the time, we got a pressure washer from them. And then just by doing that, now if I go to a town meeting and I want to do something or try and ask to do something, like if I wanted to do something with the show,
Right.
their perspective of who I am and what I'm doing or what they'll allow me to do has completely changed just by doing that. And it wasn't really a lot of, it was a lot of my time with going to the, it actually took longer for them to say, yes, you could do it.
Which is amazing.
It took 3 months for them to trust me. And then we did it in a weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
awesome.
Which is amazing that you have to beg
Yeah.
to do things for free.
Well, there was you say it from that perspective, but then when you go to the meetings, there's insurance and there's things
Well, sure.
that need to cover under
But
umbrellas.
I'll give you another example. I used to coach football for like the younger kids, and back when I played football, which I played for the same team. So when I played,
they retired his number in the
it's
clubhouse.
on the over the thing. But no, like our helmets had a logo on it, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then as we got older, when we got out, maybe a couple years after we left, they stopped putting that logo on the helmet, and it just was just straight black.
Okay.
So when I was a coach, I was like, hey, I have a vinyl cutting machine. I want to make these logos, and I'll personally pay for the vinyl. I'll cut them, and I'll put them on the helmets.
Yeah.
And they were like, and they go to the meeting. They're like, well, we got to think about it. And I was like, I'm paying for it. I'm doing it. It will affect no one's lives except for the kids. Will look cool again.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we have to think about it. So I just went and fucking did it.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I just did it.
Yeah,
I don't care. Yeah, you guys are stupid.
Was there kickback?
No, the only thing they said was, well, now when we get the helmets reconditioned, now they're going to have to take the stickers off. And I go, every other team has a sticker on their helmet.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd be the only ones.
Yeah.
But no, so I just did it. And then when I did it for our team, they were like, well, what about the other age groups? Okay, well, I did it for my team. If they want to do it, like, give me $20 to buy the vinyl, and I'll still donate all my time. Nobody would kick in. They wanted me just everything to be done.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah.
So I made them enough they could do it for like 3 years in a row. And I just showed the coaches, like, generic, like, hi, here's how you do
But
it.
you're a good man.
Yeah, well, because it looked cool. Now,
To an extent.
Oh, I want to. I'm not
Pull back
allowed.
on that
I'm not. No,
compliment.
I'm not allowed to go there because I will flip because they changed the colors.
Oh, man.
You can't change it.
Yeah.
You ever see The Big Lebowski?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy pulls out the gun for going over the line? That's him.
Nothing wrong with that.
Unless you're the guy who went over the line.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it, Donnie.
How did you guys even get, like, what was your motivation to even start giving back to the schools or getting involved in the schools? Is that something that your girlfriend's idea, or, like, you guys kind of, like, wanted to just do something for a school, or, like, how does that idea come about?
So, it came about, so to be honest, it came about just trying to drive sales for the business.
Yeah.
So I held the sales meeting. I invited a couple of people that weren't involved with the business, but had experience selling other products or other things. So I held the meeting, and one of the guys that came through was George Eunice. He came through. His nickname is Chunk. And we sat down and we started talking about the teachers and the discount we give to the teachers, the discount we give to the military. And it was actually his idea. He was like, you know what if we just give that 10% back to the school?
Yeah.
And then, we started chopping it up and we were thinking about it, and we're like, you know what? That would actually benefit the kids a lot more. The teachers, obviously, they'll benefit getting the 10% off of their meals, but they're teachers for a reason. And I think that they would care that $4 would go to someone in their class as opposed to their pocket. And I think they would appreciate that. So it really stemmed from that. And once we figured that out, and we're like, you know what? Any money that we're throwing back towards the school is going to be helpful. You know what I mean? And if we can generate enough buzz and enough people to do it within our business, then we can convince other businesses to do the same. So the overall idea of shared change is it starts with Valley Prep. It is a Valley Prep thing, but the idea is to get other businesses in Allentown and Bethlehem or whatnot, and to be honest, anywhere. Like I said, wherever you do business, you should take some of your profits and give it back to those kids in that community so that they can help build that community up better than what it is now.
It's definitely a wonderful thing. I can tell you, like, we just went to a meeting at my daughter's school, and they were saying that when they would do, like, just small events and, like, field trips and stuff, and he's like, we used to have a budget of between, like, $2,500 and $3,500, which would cover, like, to rent the buses, because our schools don't have our own buses. We rent it for another company or whatever.
Right.
But that would cover, like, the bus rental and going to these places and stuff, and we would ask the kids for, like, $1 or $2 or something, like, minimal.
Right.
And he goes, and then my budget was cut. So it went from $2,500 to $3,500 to zero. So now they only rely on the PTA to raise money.
Yeah.
And that's shitty.
How does the PTA raise money? Like the hoagie sales?
I think it's a 4A fucking high school.
Okay.
How do you rely on a
100%.
PTA?
Yeah, no, that's so many
It
kids.
shouldn't be that way.
No way.
Step up that Blue Eagle hoagie you're selling.
You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
But no, but like there is so many businesses in each town, each city. If they gave 2% of profits or whatever it is they chose to give to, even if it was just a short period of time, if it was just a month of sales.
Yeah.
Those little pieces, we call it change. That's why we call it the shared change, because you're sharing your change. The change that you got here, the change you got here, we're putting into the pot, and we're going to do something with it.
How has the response been from sitting down with the high school? Are they kind of weary to have a meeting at first? Because I'm sure they're pitch stuff all the time, or was it very receptive?
I'm going to be honest. Both Alan and Derek were very receptive. Alan gave us the platform their first week back with all the teachers, the faculty. They gave us the auditorium, and we were able to do a presentation to the entire faculty.
Yeah, that was my next question is how, so I guess you kind of pitched the idea to them and then let them try the food?
Exactly. So we did a presentation for them, explained what Valley Prep is, what the Shared Change Initiative is, and then we came back later that day for lunch, and we gave them free lunches for that day so they could try what Valley Prep is.
Did you see the response you wanted out of, like, do you feel it's working?
Oh yeah. For the first 2 weeks, we're I want to say 2 weeks in, we have 15 to 20 teachers that are involved right now.
Yeah.
So it's about $60 to $70 a week that we're throwing back to the schools. You know what I mean? And right now, that's not huge, but that could be bus meals for a team for a given week. You know what I mean? And if the idea continues to grow, it's just going to get bigger. And like I said, it's not just for our business. We want other businesses to chip in. So we're contacting other local businesses to hop on board. And like I said, even if it's just 1 week, 1 month, you're giving 2%, 3% of your sales back to the school, it's something. You know what I mean? And the schools will, again, the principals of each school will determine where that money should go.
And it's got to be easier for the teachers for not having to figure out lunch and all that stuff with just having the meals already prepped for them, and then
that's the beautiful part about it is that the actual business, and on my side it's like that's what I normally pitch. It's like, hey, listen, you don't have to think about what you're eating. We're coming and we're feeding you healthy meals.
Yeah.
You're paying cheaper than you would if you're going to McDonald's or Burger King every day.
And somebody on that kind of schedule, they're probably already essentially prepping what they're going to have for the week. Yeah. Like going to the grocery store, like, oh, well, I'm having salami sandwiches. I love salami sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
I like to press them for some reason. Growing up, I used to always smash my salami sandwich. It just tastes better that way. Yeah. Somebody asked me last time I was eating, they're like, why did you do that to your sandwich? And I didn't really have an answer.
You probably did it as a kid.
I did.
It's always better when you heat and press it.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing better.
Yeah, so it's like when you're, even if you're like, even like looking at like what meal prep could be so beneficial for, like if you're like planning out your lunch for the work week, like it's the same. It's got to be, if you would just figure it out what your cost is to get it and what your time is to make it, and then to have somebody just make it all for you.
So you're saying like 2 weeks ago, like when I made chili and I ate chili for 7 days straight, you're trying to tell me that his is more healthy? Yeah, absolutely, yes.
100%.
Yeah, I fucking hate chili now. I ate it 7 days straight.
So we do offer chili.
Yeah.
Do you guys do soups?
Yep. In the fall and winter time, we offer soups.
I love soup.
Once spring and summer comes out, we're out.
Every fucking day if I could.
That'd be so crazy if there was a Valley Meal Prep 5 blocks from where you worked.
Yeah, I really hope they put one in.
Be able to walk there.
No, it was fun. I just brought that up today, and I was explaining it to Liz today, and I said, you know, they're really not that far from here.
No, because I was leaving.
And she was like, why don't we just order food? I said, no, it's not like a restaurant. We can't call them up and go, hey, this is what we want.
Right.
And she was like, oh, all right. Well, all right. And
well,
that's
now
why
you guys
I asked
can
you.
explore
but
the
this is
website.
what happens. Once I bring some samples in, once you have it and you're like, oh, I just got to order by Thursday.
Yeah.
Once you get into that cycle, it becomes very simple.
I only work Monday, Thursday, so it's perfect.
So when you go on the website, you can order it for the week. Is the least amount you can order for is 1 week?
So you can order for the week, and then we also introduced the prep by the pound. So
let's get into that because we didn't get into that at all.
So what it is if you like to prep yourself, if you're already a meal prepper and you're not looking to order our menu, you can order all of our different styles or flavors of chicken, beef, steak, salmon, shrimp, and then all of the veggie sides, and then all of the like potatoes and whatnot, stuff like that. And then you just do that by the pound. So if you would like, you can. If you don't like the specific meal, you go to the prep by the pound. You buy your chicken for the week, your shrimp for the week, your beef for the meat for the week, and then you buy your veggies for the week. And you can literally build your own meals at home.
What all beef do you guys do?
It's all grass-fed beef, but we source it from the local depot.
That was the other thing I was going to ask is where do you guys get all of your your stuff from? Are you getting it from like the farmers markets? Are you getting it from purveyors?
The vegetables, we go for the produce junction, and they source from the local farms in the area of New York, Jersey, and
No,
Pennsylvania.
I've gotten stuff from there. It's good.
But,
when I was
but-
juicing, I used to go there all the time.
Oh yeah. So
They have a lot of good stuff. They have bread there.
everything. They
Like,
really
I was
do.
there. I was like, this is crazy.
Flowers, plants, they got the
Yeah.
whole thing. But yeah, we try to source organic as much as we can. But due to how many customers that we have, sometimes we can't buy that much of organic.
Yeah.
So when we can, we'll buy all organic, and then from there we just get the healthy stuff we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, all of our, not for the most part, for chicken, as far as that goes, it's antibiotic free. Beef is grass fed. And we rarely use pork, but I think it's more for the keto people. We use the pork.
Do you guys like? Why don't you do breakfast?
It's really just in our opinion, it's harder to.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I'm thinking about
reheat.
it from reheating. Like,
Exactly.
microwaved eggs are
It's not the best.
not the best.
Exactly. So the idea that we're floating around now is juices. So we
Yeah.
might start offering juices as the breakfast option.
Man, there's so many avenues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. It's the battle of what's the next lane to
Yeah,
tackle.
because my friend, she is a teacher, and she was having trouble. Like this year, she's taking on more work than she normally does, and she's like, "Dude, I don't have time to eat breakfast, and I don't even have time for lunch." And I'm just like, "Well, why don't you start juicing?" And then she started like making a smoothie,
Yep.
so at least she was taking in something like that.
Exactly. It's quick. You know, it's not like eating the meal, but it'll still give you the nutrients.
But once you're in the routine of it, like I was telling him, like for a while I was doing the juice, and like I did it wrong, and like it was one that
you get huge on the juice.
I wish. I wish I had money
The
to
other
just get
juice.
testosterone. Or if I look like a UFC fighter and not do anything. When that there was a documentary that came out on Netflix where the guy just juiced and like changed his life, and I was like crying watching it. I'm like, this is great. So I did it, but I did it wrong. Like I was just drinking juice, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dude, I was so miserable. Like I ran into one of my buddies and he brought it up, like how angry I was that I did it for a whole week. I mean, by Wednesday or Thursday, it's the best I've ever felt in my entire life. Like I was like, this is how you're supposed to feel, because I had like all the nutrition in me.
Yeah.
But like starving yourself like that, like I remember I would drink it and I'd be so angry I would force myself to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So
But
hungry,
then
right?
but then I like looked into the diet, and then it was like, oh, you were supposed to be having salads with it, and there was times you were supposed to be eating, and I was like, I was like, you're so dumb.
No, I did the intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And I always do, like, it would be Tuesday. I would have dinner, and then I wouldn't eat again until Wednesday at dinner. Like I did a 24-hour.
Oh no.
And then I wouldn't eat until like 2:00 in the afternoon. So I was doing like fasting normal, and then one day I do 24-hour fasting, and it was always known, like they had it written on the board at work that stay away from Jesse on this day.
Oh
'Cause that
man.
was fucking nasty.
Yeah.
I'm not. I get
I believe it.
pissed off.
I believe it.
Yeah, I get pissed off. That didn't help either. That didn't really.
But juices and smoothies that's like a whole nother level onto what you would be doing, because like if I was getting meal prep and I had especially if I was like, all right, well I want to drop weight, and I'm doing like the whatever, like what is it, the low carb one or something.
Yep.
So it was like, all right, but then you still have breakfast, so then there's a lot of space to screw up if you don't know what you're doing, or
Yes.
like even in the morning, like I can just make scrambled eggs, and if I'm eating correctly and like I'm slowly getting back to where I want to be healthy, so in the morning I'll just have scrambled eggs, but that takes 10 minutes, and if you don't get up on time because I hit snooze 500 times,
Yeah, so
like my alarm will go off at 7, and that is like enough time to get everything done, and then I'm like, I could definitely sleep till 8. I'll sleep till 8, and then I'll be like, damn it, why did I sleep till 8:15? Now I have to shower. It's 8:30. I'm supposed to leave at 8:45, and I'm like, you're not eating breakfast.
Yep.
And like last night I made, because I'm trying to be more self-conscious, so like I made like an egg bake. So I just took like a pie dish, and I whipped up eggs, and I put like I basically made like a quiche dish or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I had that this morning because I could just throw it in the microwave and heat it. So it's like if I had juices, I would just slam a juice, get the energy from it, and then already have my lunches prepped. And then if you did dinner as well, even if you did it for 90 days, the amount of weight that you would lose just from following a maintained structured diet that somebody's delivering to you, or you can walk 5 blocks to get it.
Yeah, I can't wait till they put one of those in. Can't wait till they put one of those in.
Man.
But no, you're
the
absolutely
avenues,
right.
man. The avenues of what you could do.
You're absolutely right.
What are your goals to get back to? Because we were on the school and then we got off and we're talking about juices and shit. What are your goals with the school?
With the school, personally, it's really, it really bothers me that teachers have to come out of pocket. So if we can get enough businesses to chip in, if we get enough customers to come through and purchase the Valley Meal Prep for the initiative, the goal is that the teachers in the Allentown School District in the future will not have to come out of pocket, or at least not as much as they have been.
But they don't have to come out of their pocket
for the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids, for what the kids need for education, for the school.
Because they do, and people don't realize, but teachers put in a lot of their own money, their own supplies, their own stuff, that if they go through the school, they just don't get.
Exactly. And that's just not fair. It's not fair to the kids, and it's not fair to the teachers.
And you ask, like, I'll ask my wife, like, why are you doing this? Just don't do it. And she's like, because I love doing this. Like, I love being able to do this with the kids, to be able to set this up. And I was like, I wouldn't do it. That's why I'm not a kid. I'm not a teacher, right?
Yeah. But they know that those little things affect those students, those kids. You don't know how far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the money that she is taking out of her pocket, there's probably at least 10 kids that are like, I will never forget this woman for this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if we can allow that teacher to still do that without having to come out of her pocket, still provide that opportunity to that kid, and that kid still looks at her like, this person gave me this.
All that money they're saving by not doing that now pays for the food.
Exactly.
So it actually does pay for it eventually.
Yeah. It would be,
That's awesome.
But that is the goal.
What do you guys plan on doing as far, like, first of all, like, doing the Iron Pigs thing is such a feather in the cap, and then now tackling the school district thing, and then taking on everything you just said is such a huge responsibility to grow the program, and that takes a lot of work and a lot of knocking on doors and a lot of just shaking hands and just a lot of the time that you would never have working in front of a flat top.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
like, where do you guys see Valley Meal Prep growing outside of even doing that?
So,
like, what do you want to do in the next 5 years with Valley Meal Prep?
For Valley Meal Prep, we really want to. When we started, the idea was we really just want to conquer the Lehigh Valley. That's why we called it Valley Prep. We thought we could brand it something national, something that we could go further. But the way we feel is that we're from the Lehigh Valley, and there's enough people in the Lehigh Valley to sustain a business. And if we can at least make the change that we want, do business the way that we want to do within the Lehigh Valley, we're 100% comfortable with that. But if we can maneuver properly and take over the Lehigh Valley the way we would like to, affect the change that we can in the school districts, once we're at that point, then we would like to expand to another city, another hot point where we can.
And then just take what you're doing and keep affecting.
I would say too, try to hit up like big businesses.
Yes.
Like corporations, get them on meal plans. Explain that if you do this, your people will be more healthy, which means they'll take less days off, which means it's more productive.
Yep.
And if you can get that, then you're delivering to corporations like Olympus. Or corporations like that, big gas corporations, Mack trucks.
Yep.
And then you're fucking off to the races.
So like a similar thing, like how we presented to the faculty at Allen and Dariff, we would like to do a similar thing to the businesses.
Yeah.
It'd be a little different, obviously, because they're not kicking back to the school. Maybe they're kicking back to something within their own program. But the idea would be able to get in front of those large corporations, ADP and City Center, and see if we can actually get their employees on the plan. That would be awesome.
I mean, I remember being at Martin Guitar and they had a cafeteria, and at my brother's work they have a cafeteria. So it's like those bigger companies still have to put out the money for like feeding their employees during the day.
Yep. Or even like
hospitals. They hire a service to do it.
Yeah. Hospitals use
Yep. Yep.
But to be able to, if you would be able to, like, hey, the doctors, the nurses, they go in there and get their stuff. If you got in there, you could do that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's so many different ways. You're right. There's so many different things you can do. You just gotta let
It's
them.
endless.
Let them. They just have to accept it.
Exactly. Once the person gets over, I'm gonna spend, whether it's the $80 or the $40 a week ahead of time for my food. Once they're comfortable with that, they don't think about it.
But if you think about how much, and people can't think the long way, but if you think like how much you spend at the grocery store.
Yeah, like what does it break
And figure
down
that
per
in.
cost per meal a day?
$7 or $8 a meal.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to beat that.
Yeah.
Like I said, you go to Burger King and McDonald's, you're spending $7, $8, and it's not
You're still
nutritious.
going there.
It's not filling. It's hurting you. You know what I'm saying? If you go to an establishment where you're going to get a decent meal.
But those Dorito nachos are. Oh.
What
Dorito nachos?
Doritos Locos Tacos?
Oh. Yeah.
You got me, man.
Yeah. And those spicy fries.
Yeah, but you never feel good after
Nacho fries?
eating them.
No.
You just
No,
feel
you'll know
terrible.
immediately you feel great.
No,
10
you-
minutes later, you feel like a pile of dog shit.
Yeah. I remember the last time I got Taco Bell and I ate it down here and I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be so good. And then like halfway through it, I was just like looking down. I'm like, you are so fat.
Yeah.
Like 9
and that's-
tacos.
and that was my
There's
problem.
like desserts.
That was my problem because Mondays I work until like 10 at night. And when I would drive home, I'm like, well, there's a Taco Bell that's open.
Yeah.
So I would eat Taco
Only thing
Bell
open.
every Monday night.
Oh,
and I was
man.
like, it's just not, this isn't working.
How does your meals differ from lunch and dinner? Like, do you have like a heavier main thing for dinner?
Yeah, so the protein count for the dinner is always a little bit higher than the lunch. Same with the carbs. We always try to give a little bit more for dinner, just because
Yeah.
dinner you need to feel full.
Yeah.
But as far as low calorie goes, everything is always under 500 calories. The keto, we try to keep it around 500 calories. Keto, it's more important that you're getting the fat and the calories to balance out the carbs that you're not getting.
Yeah.
But again, with the keto, we do try to push that more towards our diabetic customers that have to stay off of the sugar.
I didn't even think of that. If you were diabetic and you didn't feel like dealing with any of that, and you could just have somebody prep stuff that you can eat, you don't have to think about it, and you can get a variety of stuff, and you're not having like if you don't know how to cook and you're diabetic and your list of
Screwed.
things,
Screwed.
you're screwed.
That's us, and that's why we started the keto program to begin with. It is a fad diet right now, just for the average American, but
I think it's lasting a lot longer than most fads.
yeah, but because it does take off, if you do it properly, you do cut the weight.
Yeah.
But it's not healthy in the
To
long run to
leave it,
continue
yeah.
to do that.
But you could definitely cut the weight and then switch a plan on what you guys have to something else.
So what we recommend is that you start on your if you're looking to do the keto, if you are diabetic and you're looking to cut the sugar, we recommend you get on the keto for a month or two, cut the sugar out of your diet, get to a weight that you're comfortable with, and then you switch to a low calorie plan where you're eating normal stuff, introducing the carbs. Because what it is you're overloading the carbs. When you have to do the keto, that means you're eating too much sugar. Like we were talking about before, I'm eating candy, I'm eating chocolate, I'm eating iced tea, I'm nonstop sugar all day. Once you stop that and you get your diet to a normal level, then you can go to a low calorie plan and you'll be all right. The carbs that you're intaking aren't going to blow you up. You know what I mean? But you have to get your body back to that at least normal state.
I wonder if that's what I need to do. I eat like a box of cupcakes at a night.
Oh yeah.
Or like
Yeah, but
I'll,
you love treats.
yeah.
I'm the same way. 8 o'clock hits.
So you're saying
tooth
you're
hits.
saying like if you eat nothing but garbage, what the way to do it in all seriousness would be is to hop on keto, because then that's going to cut all your sugars out,
Right.
and then get your weight down where if I'm like, all right, well, I'm at 230 and I want to at least get to 190, and then when I get to 190, then I want to start bringing back carbs
Right.
and eating semi-correctly.
Exactly.
This is kind of starting to make sense.
Yeah.
I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah. It's
Because I eat like I'll start eating good, and then I'll just be like, I have like such a sweet tooth from with like chocolates and stuff.
Me too,
And
man.
like I'll just like hammer like a half a bag of a family size M&Ms, just like blurp 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 blurp. And then I'm just like, yo, dude.
Happiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I
Exactly
bought a
what it
bag
is.
of Swedish goldfish, and the only reason they lasted is because they were old. And I still ate them all, but they were extra chewy. Well, were you down here when everybody came over for the fights and they're like, yo, what's with the bag of Swedish goldfish? In the back of my mind, I was like, if this shit tasted how they were supposed to, they'd be gone.
Right.
And I think I got those at Sam's. Like, that's what I'll do is like, I'll be doing really good, and then I'll just eat a box of Tasty Cakes.
Yeah.
So you think the way to go would be keto, cut all that out because it's such a drastic diet of just having that much of a sugar impact?
If sugar is your issue,
Yeah.
if sugar's the issue, then yes.
Yeah,
Hopping on the
I-
keto plan will help you regulate that. But again, it's not so much to. We all need sugar.
Yeah.
We need the sugars
But
to
do you
to
eat
function.
cupcakes in bed?
Me personally, yes.
Yeah. So do I.
I'm a sweet tooth, man. Bro. Like I said, once 8:30 hits, I'm looking for anything chocolate.
Yeah. It
And
sucks.
It's weird. It's weird. Like I won't crave it all day, but as soon as 8:30 hits, it's like,
Yeah.
where are the M&Ms? Where's the ice cream?
What'd you have tonight after 8:30?
Tonight is
You were here.
Yeah, it was here.
It's gonna
You
be.
should have said
You've
something.
been
I
here
have
all night.
chocolates. I have salted caramels from the beach over here.
No, but for me, it's usually Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia.
Ooh, yeah.
You're not cursed like we are that there's an ice cream place right
Emily's. It's a
my
block. Not
goodness.
it's one.
and I live a half a block from here.
Yeah.
So my daughter's like
It's
every night,
three
like, let's
door-
go get
it's
ice cream.
three doors up.
Go to get ice cream
It's
every
three
day.
doors up.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That is really
It's
tough.
been rough.
I would be there every day. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Something about that urge. You can't.
Oh.
I don't know. It's real.
But it's proven that it's not good to eat ice cream every day because that dude from Ben & Jerry's died.
He died, right?
Was
One
it
of them
Ben or
died
Jerry?
because of he had a heart attack.
A lot of ice cream.
And they said it's because he legitimately ate ice cream. One of them ate ice cream every day
That's dangerous.
because he was like, "Oh, I'm just sampling it." Yeah, that's what I tell myself
Oh my
too.
god.
He's making sure the
I'm
product's
sampling
good.
a pint every day.
Yeah.
I need to stop then because I'm definitely eating at least half a one of those every night.
I don't know. Keto intrigued me. I did the primal diet, which I believe is similar to keto.
Yep.
But I think you just can eat less things.
Right.
Like it's
More meat.
Yeah. That worked though because I was like, all right, well, I can have a hamburger and I can do this stuff, and I don't know. I got to figure something out. Otherwise, I think I'm just gonna have a heart attack. It's not even funny. It runs rampant in my family.
well, that's also
Well,
why
anyway.
you gotta keep
Yeah.
a close eye on the keto because you are introducing a lot of fats. So
Yes.
Yeah.
it's all about what kind of fat you're introducing.
Good fats. The good
Exactly.
fats that your body can actually do, not this.
So the avocado versus the bacon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So I never
that's
even
important for us.
thought of eating
lot of
avocados
nuts.
instead of bacon.
A lot of different.
I like
nuts.
avocados though.
That's the key for the keto, the
Yeah.
avocado, because it's a lot of fat.
Yeah.
No,
I don't like
We
it.
can make guacamole and put bacon in it.
I don't like it.
You don't like
Wow.
avocados?
Nope.
You probably never had someone make fresh guac.
I don't like it.
You throw salt on there,
I don't like
a
it.
little avocado.
Avocado toast is becoming big. Just
It
putting
is.
avocado on
It is.
toast. Do you guys do a lot with avocados?
For the keto, yes.
Yeah.
Keto, they're probably getting avocados at least 2 or 3 times out of the meals, just because it's the best fat that you can get. You're not putting any like bad fat.
I
into
beg
it.
to differ. I think bacon, possibly bacon with chocolate on it.
Oh wow.
Do you guys do any bacon in any of your meals?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But again, for keto because of the fat purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the low calorie and the bulk, you'll get turkey bacon, but for the keto, you'll get real bacon, just for the fat purposes. Let me throw that on there.
I think what you're doing is so interesting because coming from somebody who's cooked for a living, and then the amount of endless opportunity you have, and even seeing the smile on your goddamn face, that like what you're doing was what you should have done, was make that decision. Bill turned me on to you, and then after talking to you, and like I was just like, it's crazy because the way my mind works, it's super creative, and you can just I'm always looking 12, 13 steps ahead of everything.
Yes.
And when you were telling me what you were doing, my mind was literally just going like, bing, bing, bing. Even talking to you now, like I was just like, dude, like this is literally endless.
Yeah.
Like to where you can just go this way, that way. You can do breakfast. You can do smoothies. You can do any meal you want.
Yep.
Hats off to you for having the guts, because there's so many people that would have just kept the greasy spoon and would have just ground it out. You would have lost all your hair. You would have been miserable.
I'm miserable right now. I would not have the time to come here right now.
No, you wouldn't,
100%.
because you'd be exhausted. Your knees would hurt. Your back would hurt. You
Grumpy.
probably would be single.
Yes. Yes. We probably would have had enough fights by then.
But I just want to thank you for coming on. It's so interesting to even see this type of business venture, and then to see how many people you're affecting with doing it with the Iron Pigs, and then now that you're giving back to the schools, and then it makes sense for what you're doing, and it's not like you're doing something where it's like a half-assed product and then people are just doing it because you're giving back to the school. It's like the teachers are benefiting it where they can lose weight or get awesome food. Exactly. And then what I want to do then after this is when you get that athlete program going, I want to bring you and Bill back on and then just really go back and forth on like
you need to bring Bill with you to these schools and just have him yell at everybody.
Yeah, I do.
Because you guys sponsor Bill. And like, so like
he is awesome. Bill's
great guy.
He's a
man.
good guy.
So like I want to bring back Bill and you at the same time and like really get into the benefits of the athlete stuff as well.
He's just going to yell at me the whole time.
And like I said, I really want to hook you up with Zach and JM over at 10th Planet.
Absolutely.
And they have some monsters over there with what they're doing, and their schools are
goddamn killers.
Let's get it.
Where they're at is crazy. And because I was telling them about you, and like we talk every now and then, and we just go back and forth, and like Zach's so awesome, and we just motivate the shit out of each other. And he's like, dude, I'm doing this, that, and that. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm trying to catch up. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, I met this guy, and he does the meal preps and everything. And I'm like, dude, I think he'd be super beneficial to have over at the school. And he does like seminars and stuff like that. So I think it'd be really easy fit.
And they're opening up in Allentown, another school.
Yeah, they're opening 10th Planet Allentown.
Really?
It's in Bethlehem, which is technically Easton, but it's Bethlehem, they say, and then they're just opening one right now in Allentown.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The guy who, Thor, this monster, God, he's a killer.
Okay.
He's literally...
His real name is Thor?
No, they just
call him Thor.
But he literally kicks the shit out of everybody.
Okay.
And, I mean, he won EBI. I don't know if you watched
the combat jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Yeah, like he literally made a huge name for himself.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. It's awesome. Because I don't know where they are in Allentown, though. I haven't figured it out yet.
I don't know if they dropped the location yet.
We have to find out where it is.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it
No,
out.
but I'll hook you up with those guys, because between both schools, or even they have MMA guys that are going through there. So I know Thad Frick and them, and they're cutting weight and doing all that stuff. I think it would just be, easy. And like I said, I'll try and hook you up with the people over at Easton and whatnot, because I think what you're doing is important. Yeah. And
all schools could use it.
Yeah, man. And it's just it's awesome to see somebody get to a position where it's endless possibilities, and that's where you're at now. Yeah. What are your social media avenues that anybody can get a hold of you, especially if they want to start doing the meal prep? And then your social media is awesome because it's just food all day.
Yeah, all day food. That's the best part of social media. On Instagram, we are valleyprep_meal prep. Facebook, we have a business page, Valley Prep Meal Prep, and we also have just like a normal, like a friend page, Valley Prep. And then we're also on LinkedIn and Twitter. Same handles. But yeah, if you're looking for all the good pictures and the food and all the different things that we do, Instagram, Facebook's definitely a great place to check us out. But if you're actually looking to order and find out the actual information for the plans and the shared change program, the website at valleyprep.net would be the best.
Awesome. And we're going to keep everybody up to date on, we should start getting Jesse to do some vlogs on what's going on in the office. And
yes, that would be awesome.
And how you guys are going to stop eating garbage Chinese food over there.
No, you don't want to video.
It'd be different. Is it at least good Chinese food?
Sure.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
We do have a very good chicken lo mein.
There you go.
As a meal.
I think that's what you need to bring over. What else do you guys order there? We'll have a plan of attack.
That's what I'm saying. We can mimic, but healthy and tasty.
Let me explain to you how deep we've gone. there's a pizzeria that's there. When they call, they just say, "Oh, is this for Jesse?" Every time.
That's probably not
So
even good
we get
pizza.
sandwiches. No, the pizza's actually decent.
Yeah.
But they'd have sandwiches, and I'll mix it up every so often, getting meals and stuff. You know, but yeah, just
So you need Italian, and you need Chinese. What else you guys got?
We got some Italian.
Spanish food, Spanish
I
rice.
love Spanish food. Spanish rice is so good.
Oh god, Spanish rice.
We got you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we order from there. Yeah, I don't know. Good food. You know, good solid.
Yeah.
You feel sick after a little bit.
Want to go to sleep?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Thank you again. And if anybody needs to get a hold of Valley Meal Prep, they can go to all the social media, or if they're having problems with that, they can hit me up directly. And you can find our past shows on Never Again Studio on iTunes, Never Again Studio on Instagram, Never Again Studio on Facebook, and I think that's about it. You'll find my name on Facebook, but that's just me resharing what I put on my business page. But thanks for listening, and thank you so much for coming down here.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
I still don't know how to close shows.
I believe it's